All right, welcome everybody to the grand finals of Entities Campfire. We have Invictus versus Nokron slash Praxis. I am joined by Mario Gunner for this exciting best of 7. If Invictus wins this, they'll take the whole tournament. If Nokron wins, then we go to a replay in October. Mario, are you excited?
I am very excited. Two of some of the top teams here in competitive Dead by Daylight going head to head, seeing who is going to take the grand finals of Entities Campfire. That's an early tag here coming in from Dan. And a typical Plague strat, just tag and leave, get infection. Not interested in committing anything just yet, but we're actually seeing the Corrupt Purge coming in early from Zaka here, so maybe we're looking for an early down, Lily.
Yeah, I think he's actually looking to chase out Dan here with this Corrupt Purge here. Maybe zone him away from making it topside, but Dan has made it pretty far up the map so far, but he's going to be stuck at this 4 lane here, so we might have a very fast down for this Plague set. Dan's going to have to juke, but I don't think he can. And looks like we're going to be dying pallet, so we're forcing Zaka to look around, but we actually end up getting the tag on Spitz. We immediately find him. This could be a snowball, but looks like Zaka's going to actually cut his losses and take this early hook before anybody can come and pick it up. But we did see somebody else there in the distance. Oh, with the beamer, but he's just too far away. Pedro not close enough. So now we have a hook in our 4-gen here. Mario, very explosive start so far.
Yeah, I mean, Zaka choosing to take the safer route here instead of going for the down onto Spitz. That would have been a very good snowball, but the safer route definitely to just take the tag, leave, get the hook, Pain Resonance, and see what we can do thereafter. But we're actually seeing Spitz early on again at the 11 side of the map, so another really good down here for Zaka.
Yeah, thanks to that amulet, we were able to have enough time on this power to get the down onto Spitz still. He wasn't able to get far enough away, and this power is only just now running out, so we're going to be able to infect Spitz on the hook. Now we have one stage on Dan, and he's broken, so this is a very good start for Zaka so far. I don't know if they have much gen progress yet. Looks like only one gen really being significantly progressed here so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a dream start for Plague here. You do not have the tunnel out in terms of Dan, but you have managed to switch it up for Spitz here. And that's not the worst play in the world, because not only did you get the Pain Resonance onto Dan, but being able to get Spitz onto this side of the map, that's looking like a pretty devastating 4-gen situation here. I think we have, yeah, this is like a 4-gen topside. So this is a really good hook location, even though we have given up Dan in terms of our tunnel out. I don't think you mind that.
Yeah,
really, truthfully.
Can't be mad about the extra hook because we did get that down so fast, and now we have Spitz hooked really tight in our 4-gen, and now we get some infection and an injure onto Nightlight, so now somebody else is going to be forced to rotate for this pull. Looks like Pedro's already there. Really good timing from Invictus here to be able to get that unhook very early. Maybe they were planning a double pull before they went for that, and now we have everybody injured very early, and Spitz is in a bit of trouble here. There is still filler. We got some good RNG here, so Spitz is going to be trying to get down to the bottom side, but I feel like he's stuck here. Oh
yeah, I don't think Spitz is going to be able to make it. Oh wait, no, I think
that whiff.
Think that was light, but yeah, no. That whiff is going to allow Spitz to be able to make it to the bottom side of the map, which is exactly where we need to be here, considering the gen spread. The generated progress is on the bottom side of the map here, so that is the downside to it. However, being able to make this safe tile in Shack is going to allow Spitz to be able to last a little bit longer here. So Zaka in a little bit of trouble here, maybe.
Yeah, we made it all the way down to Shack, and now Zaka's going to have to pivot a little bit here. We let our tunnel out get away, and they got the unhook before he went second stage too. So Invictus doing a really good job recovering from that start too. And look how much gen progress they have on this bottom side. They just popped that one gen, and then there's another one well on the way. So Invictus recovering very well, and we did grab this Corrupt Purge too. So we really need to find Spitz here, but I feel like this is not going to be Spitz. I don't think we want to stay topside. And was there a pallet over there?
Yeah, the new pallet RNG.
What?
They've kind of changed the pallet density of the entirety of the map, and now Water Tower can in fact spawn a pallet. It's a 50-50 pallet, but you can chain it pretty well. Yeah,
I really want to see that pallet. I hope Zaka walks over there at some point. That was very strange. I've never seen a pallet spawn there with this new RNG yet. But yeah, looks like Zaka's in a bit of trouble now. So much progress on the map. And we really let Spitz go away, and we're not finding anybody with this Corrupt Purge, which is the snowball that Zaka really needed, and that was his only pool. Now there's one all the way onto the bottom side, but oh yeah, look at this pallet. What the hell? It's like on CT main.
Yeah, it makes Water Tower a lot safer, just because, you know, people will typically loot the Water Tower in a 1v1 setting. However, by pre-dropping that pallet, you allow yourself even more distance to other things in the map, right? So Plague and other, like, Shuffle Pit, Cold Tower type killers are definitely suffering with this new RNG. But you know, we are seeing Spitz actually cleansing over on, I believe that is the opposite side, yeah, over on the shack side of the map there. So probably a smart play, because that's the side of the map you want Zaka on anyway. So you've kind of put Zaka into a situation here where any lethality that Zaka could possibly have means that he's giving up quite a bit of pressure, and I don't think Zaka is going to want to leave this top side of the map anytime soon.
Yeah, if he went all the way down to that bottom side to get his Corrupt, then he would be losing a gen or two, just for the time sink of going there. But looks like we do find Nightlight top side, and we're going to go for that swing, and we do actually hit that. We do see the Eruption Aura. I think that must be Pedro over there. But we're going to have to choose if we want a Painrez hook here or a top side deep hook. But looks like we're going to go for the Painrez. We want to stop any progress that they have, but this probably hit that bottom gen instead of this one, I think. Oh, it might have hit this one, actually.
Yeah, that bottom gen.
We saw Spitz! Spitz is here.
Oh, wait, that's huge. Finding Spitz here is actually massive, because if we can actually get Spitz to second stage, that would be amazing stuff for Zaka, just getting a little more pressure on these sub stages. But it doesn't look like Zaka's interested in going for that. Just because we do concede this unhook a bit early if we do that. But it will be happening anyway.
We do have a stage on Dan, though. Yeah, if we can get Dan. I mean, one of these survivors is dead for sure. Oh, wait, this pallet is here. Oh, and we do get Dan. We might be able to get a little bit of a snowball here. We're thinking about picking Dan, but we were scared that Nightlight stayed in the area. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this. He's scared. We can hear Nightlight here, and we can hear Pedro. They're kind of swarming Zaka. He doesn't know what to do. If he goes, they're playing their distance so well here to force Zaka into an uncomfortable position. And this whole time, Spitz is cranking on that gen. It's going to pop any time now. But looks like Nightlight goes for the vault, and that's going to be Lithe coming out. But I feel like, I don't know, Zaka's hands are kind of tied here. We're looping close to this gen. And that's going to be Dan getting picked up already. And nice vault from Nightlight.
All of this for the sake of giving Spitz time on that generator while pressuring the pickup. That was beautifully played from Invictus, making sure that Zaka just could not do really anything in that situation. He was getting the pallets done and losing everything that he worked hard for in those prior 2 minutes, while also losing the generator. So Invictus putting Zaka in a very tough position here.
Yeah, Invictus playing this actually super, super well. Spitz being the only healthy survivor, not scared to go pressure that deep gen, because, I mean, if Zaka ever went there, then, you know, he's pretty safe. But looks like Zaka's actually going all the way to the bottom side to get this Corrupt Purge. He thinks he has time, and he knows he needs it. He can't win this 3-gen with 4 survivors alive, and nobody is close to dying. So we're going to see probably some stealth coming out from Invictus, because they really cannot afford to get found here. And that's going to be Dan cleansing. We see where he is, but we don't want to go for that. We're going to be wandering around this top side, hoping we can hear anybody coughing, any injured survivors, to get this snowball that we so desperately need.
Yeah, I mean, this is like clockwork from Invictus as well. We just saw Zaka get the power over on the bottom side of the map, but little did he probably know Team Invictus already on the bottom side of the map, re-cleansing as well, forcing Zaka's hand back to the bottom side of the map. I mean, forcing Zaka away from this top side of the map like that, this is the kind of stuff you only see from top tier gaming.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, really great choice for Nightlight to go play this. Oh, he actually gets that hit. Barely gets it. Sent his entire Corrupt Purge onto that corner, and Nightlight poked out just at the last second and is able to get hit from that. I think the survivor is not a Painrez, unfortunately, for Zaka, but we do have our second Corrupt Purge. I don't know if we're going to choose to camp this out. We're probably guessing that somebody is over here, and Zaka was right. Dan was over here. We're going to try to catch the unhook rotation, but looks like he wasn't actually coming for that. I am curious where Dan is now. Oh, he is here. We did find him.
Oh wow. Okay, so we actually are seeing Dan over on the bottom side of the map here. Probably you have to imagine maybe he was trying to stealth for the unhook while the other two are cranking on the top side of the map, but um, not actually getting that hook from onto Nightlight will allow Zaka to get a little bit more pressure here. But again, the top survivors, one of them was able to rotate, and you have to imagine one of those top generators is about to pop here. So Zaka needs to end this chase really well. And speaking of which, Dan actually looping this filler palette super duper well here. Will finally take a tag to an M1, but still good stuff from Dan to buy some time here for Invictus.
Yeah, and Dan's gonna go down pretty soon here, but he's gonna force basement. They might have two gens popping, and Dan was already pain rest too, so even if he didn't go for this basement force, then there is no gen regression possible from Dan, and that's gonna be fourth gen popping, probably fifth one on the way. Invictus Survivors just recovering so well from this situation. We only have 5 hooks so far on the board after that amazing start, just playing their distance so perfectly. And I feel like that gen's got to be close. They're probably tripling it, and they are, and it's about to pop right now. And looks like we have somebody pre-rotating to a gate as well. And now we have to pick, do we venture out and try to get more stages, or do we stay down bottom side and confirm our 6 stages? But looks like we are wandering. We don't want spits. We're looking for somebody else. Somebody cleansed right in front of us. Inside the main building though, so it's going to be a little bit awkward to get to, but looks like Zaka is not happy with 6. He does want more, and that's going to be Spitz cleansing as well. So now our hands are a little bit tied. We're getting kind of pulled all around the map like we have been this entire game, but we do have Spitz stuck on the bottom side, so we can go for the survivor. Looks like he's probably going to have to waste time to get Hatch here, and there's a pallet on the logs as well. What is this? Wait, Suffle got buffed so much actually. That's Wait, I'm mad for Zaka.
I do fear the RNG on not even just coal tower maps, on like Wrecker's Yard type maps, any map that was affected by the pallet RNG. I mean, there were some maps that definitely did benefit, you know, maps like
Oh, and it misses.
Wait, are we actually
That's gonna be
unlucky.
3 out. That's 6 stages only.
Yeah, I mean, 6 stages on the board, that's not the worst result in the world considering this new RNG. I think that definitely is beatable, but
sure.
we will have to see whether or not Invictus's killer can actually just surpass that. We'll see that right after a short break.
All right, welcome back everybody to the second half of the Plague set. We're seeing Pedro killing for Invictus versus Team Nokron, otherwise known as Praxis. We're seeing a worse gen spread up top side, but we do have a chase already onto somebody around the water tower, and we did see that pallet spawn again, and that's going to be Lithe coming up from Zaka, so I feel like we're going to drop this and go for... Did we get a weird corrupt split? No, we do have 4 gen top. Never mind. This gen is so far tucked in the corner.
Yeah, this is not the worst gen spread in the world. It is a little bit spread out here. A little bit more spread out than maybe you would like if you're Pedro. So you definitely need to protect this top side of the map. You don't really care too much about bottom because, I mean, you have all of 2 generators down here. So protecting that top side of the map is going to be vital, but you have to imagine, and I think Pedro agrees, that there has to be a stealth going on somewhere on this bottom side of the map. Just because it would be a lot easier to actually, like, stealth out corrupt intervention if that is the strategy that's going on here, and begin these top side generators. So Invictus doing a little bit of a or not Invictus, I'm sorry, Nokron doing a bit of a different play here, but we are... Oh, wow.
You very nearly saw a ward there in this bright...
I...
Who is this? Is this V?
That is V. That is V, yeah, the new survivor.
I thought it was Meg for a moment.
Yeah, no, V. A lot of people's new favorites. My new favorite, actually, for sure. She's actually pretty quiet, I think, as well. So I think she is pretty calm, pretty.
Yeah, she looks pretty cool too. I saw when she got released, she looks very cool, a little alt girl. But yeah, Nokron doing a really good job of stealthing this out. Pedro's kind of just been wandering around, puking on these gens, but no add-on to increase the infection time. So not really doing too much, and Corrupt's gone now. So Nokron is able to stealth out the entirety of Corrupt, and now Pedro's going to be forced to find somebody on the bottom side, but now these survivors can split gens across the map. Pedro's not going to be able to keep up his infection on every single generator anymore. So good job from Nokron with the slow start here, not really giving anything for Pedro to work with.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely the smarter play because you do have, I mean, not an impossible win con, but a pretty steep win con. So playing a little bit safer here, playing a little bit more into getting rid of corrupt intervention, making it so that Pedro doesn't get anything too early here, and allowing us to get full rotations is definitely going to be vital if you want to beat that. And we are able to do it, so...
Oh, I thought he hit Zaka on that gen. Did he? Oh no, he just got on the bottom gen. Yeah. But yeah, like 6 stages, very reasonable for a Plague to be able to get, but you know, also very possible to give a Plague, you know, just like a handful of stages, around 4. Kind of a little bit of a swingy killer. Definitely seeing like a big range of stages when you're talking about expected. You can either see going from, you know, 4 stages, 2k6 to 4k1 even. So definitely anything could happen in this game, but very, very slow start so far for Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, we are now finally seeing a chase here onto Zaka on the bottom side of the map, but considering how careful Nokron was playing here, we're probably going to see a gen or 2 even pop for this chase. So, yeah, this is even though we're probably seeing a down like in like next 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it's still a very, very, very good start here from Nokron. Being able to actually not get this down when we don't, I was about to say.
Very, very close shave there, and Pedro pulling out some 1v1 tricks too, but does finally get the down with a nice little window peek there, and we did see Eruption going onto V1. Not sure where he is though, I can't quite see the aura, but I imagine it was one of the top side gens that he did kick earlier. Probably that one all the way behind main, I would guess. That's going to be first stage. Honestly, probably about 4 minutes into this match. We do finally get our first hook, but still no gens popping yet.
Yeah, I mean, Plague is one of those sets that can be quite slow of a start, and can expect slow beginnings like that. But that is one of the slower starts I've seen here on Plague. And we are seeing an early unhook from Laser here on the bottom side of the map. So Laser was definitely already stealthed bottom side, ready to unhook Zaka. So amazing coordination here from Nokron so far.
Oh, look at this. Repressed Alliance on this gen top side. They want to stop him from being able to put Eruption back on that gen, or maybe stopping it from getting Painter's. I'm not sure which timing that V1 put that on the gen, but if you guys don't know, if a gen is blocked, it cannot regress, and that does apply to the survivor blocking it as well. So if we did put that on there before the pain res came in, it did not actually get hit by pain res. And that's going to be tag onto V1 with our sights on Laser, who does have a little bit of infection progress from unhooking Zaka. It's probably not too far. I don't know. Can't really see it on Spectator, but okay, looks like he did get fully infected here. So this is an opportunity for Pedro to get it down. This isn't the safest tile. It is kind of 50s, and we know that Laser does not have Lithe, but some good movement there and just barely makes that vault.
Ooh.
Good ping.
Really good stuff there. I mean, we're playing not on ping here. We're playing same region, so if that was cross ping, that probably would have hit there, but we are seeing the down onto Laser on this bottom side of the map where you want to be dead, which is the problem here for Pedro. But that already is 2 stages, 4 stages away from the tie condition, and 5 away from the win.
Yeah, and still no gens popping. Also, was that a new tile, that those rocks there? It looked a little bit different than the usual spawns on Macmillan.
Yeah, the rocks do also spawn differently. A lot of them are a little bit unsafer than God Rocks, but
yeah.
They do spawn a little bit differently now, yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. And another quick pull onto Laser. They really aren't letting anybody sit on these hooks. We want all 4 survivors able to do anything, but look at this gen spread. We have so many gens facing top. Like, oh my god, all these gens are top. There's only 1 gen left on the bottom side. We got basically a 5 gen top side.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were saying how the slow start was necessary here, but even with this slow start, because of this gen spread, it's stopping Nokron from being able to really get much progress done for these chases. I mean, the chases aren't lasting particularly short amount of time here, but because of this gen spread and eruption being applied to everything all at once, we're probably going to be seeing them playing for kicks more than anything to try to beat this win condition. Yeah,
definitely seems like playing for kicks might be the play here. These gens are very unsafe to work with everybody infected, and only so many pools that you can cleanse at on bottom side. Looks like we do see Bolitar here to help V1 make it bottom side. We are going to be able to make it to this pallet thanks to that body block. But now we have 4 survivors injured with that Thanatophobia cranking away and able to get the eruption kick down onto this gen again. And looks like we're going to leave. We don't want to chase these 2. We do still want to hold this amazing 5 gen we have on the top side.
Yeah, and Nokron, again, probably got the comm that they're going back to the top side of the map. So you have to imagine, I think it was Zaka and Laser here are going to be stealthing now. Probably trying to play a little bit slower here, but do we actually see somebody?
Yeah, I saw blood at the water tower. I don't know if Pedro noticed it. I don't think he did, but I did see blood on the ground at the water tower. And I think somebody also pre-dropped that pallet over there. But looks like somebody was over there. But we did actually find Zaka around main building, but with that Lithe, he's going to be able to make it all the way to the bottom side again. And we did also see, I think, V1 over on this side. Actually, this might have been Laser. Oh, somebody's still here, actually. Somebody split bottom, but somebody stayed top. This is Laser over here. And if we're not careful, this could be a down. And Pedro's doing his 1v1 tricks, messing with his heartbeat to make it so that Laser has to guess a little bit. And we're blocking off both sides, so he had to stay there. But looks like Laser is going to be able to make it inside. But I think this is going to be down. And no, just barely misses. But this pallet's dropped, so Laser is going to die. And that's going to be another down top side, very deep top, and we do have a pain res up here as well.
Yeah, you were really hoping that, I think Laser was really hoping that he would not get found on this top side. I think that was the strat here, because we thought that maybe Pedro would be rotating to the bottom side of the map here now. But finding Laser there might be devastating for Nokron, because getting this hook on this top side of the map, 5 generator split, it's going to be rough, and we are seeing another survivor here. Are we witnessing Nokron crumbling a little bit?
Yeah, this gen spread is proving to be very, very difficult to deal with. We do have Laser on Death Hook already. If this is a 3v1, then this game is pretty much over. And that is a crazy hit onto Zaka across the pallet. And that's going to be a second stage on Zaka as well. That's 2 survivors. Death Hook now. Pedro really, really bringing this game back. Holding this 5 gen kind of very, very strongly. Not letting them really get too much progress on this.
Yeah, and really and truly because of the split, there's not much Nokron. I mean, I don't think they were really playing incorrectly either. I think this was the strategy. It's just that, like, the split is really unlucky for them. I mean, like, being able to hold this the way that Pedro is just, like, it's difficult for the survivors to really do anything, but we are seeing a lot of progress here on this tile generator by the water tower, so That is going to be a little bit of progress here for Nokron, but the question is it too little too late? Considering the blind coming through, but V1 is going to be able to make this pallet here, so good stuff from V1. Lasting a little bit longer, making sure that we are not going down when we do not need to. That down onto V1 could have meant the game being over.
Yeah, the only problem here, though, is even if they manage to pop these 2 gens that are kind of facing the bottom side, is they still have those 3 gens deeper in to the main area, and that's going to be Laser dead. He doesn't make it to the Shack pallet, so this is going to be a 3v1 unless he's able to get that pallet safe somehow, but V1's not able to get it. We're just barely out of the pallet, but you have to go for it because now we have a survivor dead and this 5-gen topside. Looks like Pedro might get a very good result here, chipping up to get, 4K1 worst unless he makes some really bad mistakes here, but with Zaka on Deathhook, any single misposition from Zaka will mean a 2v1 in this 5-gen, and this might be exactly what's happening here. But looks like we're looking for the survivor that stayed behind. We did realize that Zaka had to pre-leave, but this survivor might be playing for greed here.
Oh,
but
no.
This is looking pretty dire, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, like, finding the survivor, I mean, like, there was very little that I feel like Bolitar could really have done there. Oh no, I mean, because splitting away to the same side as Zaka would have just meant an even worse result happening here. So Bolitar having to do what he had to do there, but unfortunately, again, we're just getting another Pain Resonant took on this top side of the map on this 5-gen split.
Oh, and we're not gonna finish it.
To finish this generator, but it's just not gonna happen. We are seeing a generator being finished in the distance. I believe that was the water tower generator. So
yeah.
We have turned what it was a 5 generator into a 4-gen. I'd say it's much better, unfortunately, though, for Nokron.
Yeah, still very bad spot, and I think that's Zaka having to go pull ward here, but now Zaka is stuck, and this gen is so highly progressed, but it got hit with that painters, and now we're not going to be able to finish it. We are forced to loop around it. There's nowhere that Zaka can go. I hope we still have that live primed and ready. It's the only way we can get out of here, and we do have it, but I don't know how long we are going to last. We did use a lot of the resources topside already, and we're going to go for a crazy swing, but Zaka not letting it happen, and maybe we're going to hit him on the tail end of that, but Zaka just enough distance. I swear he felt the wind on his back with that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I also want to point out, Zaka going down here, which he inevitably will, does mean that Team Invictus does take this set. That is 7 stages on the map once Zaka gets hooked here. And we are seeing V1 as well working this generator by the water tower. However, I don't think V1 really has anything to play here. I think V1 is just going to be dead here in the next couple seconds.
Yeah, I think most of these pallets are gone, but nice 50-50 win from V1, and that's going to be the 4th generator popping. They're still in this game a little bit, but I think the Bloodlust is just too much. We just barely don't make this pallet thanks to that Bloodlust 1. The tiny bit of haste is just enough for V1 to go down, and that's going to be 7th stage and our last pain res, and that's going to be Pedro taking the first set here for Invictus.
Wow, that was some really, I mean, again, there was very little Nokron could have done about this gens, but they were playing it completely correctly, but one tiny little anything with that kind of spread just means the victory for Pedro. I mean, this was really good, a really good hold here from Pedro, knowing the assignment very well and getting 100%, and we are seeing Bolitar going down at this God Rock as well, so I don't think this is going to be anything better than a 4K1.
Yeah, this is looking pretty much confirmed 4K1 unless they pull some cat out of the bag, try to get a better result for momentum, but this is going to be a 2v1 very soon, and all these gens are just so deep into the top side. Even that gen on the left side, you'd think it might be safer to work, but it is so far away from anything that it is just a death trap. This gen is just completely unworkable. There are no pallets anywhere near here, and we're going to see that come into effect with Zaka. He was trying to work it because it was so far away, but it is just an inevitable death even with the pre-run. But Zaka doing a good job, looping absolutely nothing to waste a bit more time from Pedro, and oh, nice, wins that 50 on the Z-wall, and looks like V1 is hanging out here, maybe giving some support, but that's going to be Zaka going down eventually at the Z-wall.
Yeah, and Zaka's death pretty much cements it. This is going to be a 4K1 here, unless Pedro does something a little bit silly, but again, you don't really mind if that happens because you've already taken the set, so
Yeah.
you can kind of, I don't want to say fool around a little bit,
You can goof
but
a
if they
bit,
pop
yeah.
another gen, you can goof a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. You can ego chase something if you
Oh.
want to. Oh, that gen's blocked. I don't
That
think you
gen
can
is out
take
of
it.
kicks, yeah. So the strategy again, playing for kicks here might have actually worked here, but unfortunately just wasn't able to pan out. But definitely was the right call, I think, from Nokron.
Yeah, maybe if they were able to play it a little bit slower in the mid game, things just kind of got away from them. Sorry, kind of towards the end there, they weren't really able to pressure a lot of these gens topside. So maybe if they were able to slow it down, play for kicks, just play max distance constantly, maybe they could have made something work here. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, and we do see Pedro dragging Bolatard down, probably to try to stop that hatch escape coming in from V1. We'll see if there's enough time. I think. Oh, he popped the last gen! He wasn't waiting at hatch! Wait!
Wow. V1 said, if I go, you go, and pops the last gen over on the 10 side of the map here. Gonna be going to the corner Z-wall. One final hurrah from V1. Can we actually win this Z-wall here?
Yeah,
V1 so far playing it kind of well.
The Z-wall's for all the money. This is the entire ego of this whole match, and V1 actually completely wins that Z-wall by just doing nothing and running away, while Pedro is mind gaming himself. And we go for the fake vault, but I don't know what this tile looks like, and a little bit of unsportsmanlike conduct there. But that's going to be Pedro with the 4K0, not 4K1. Nokron able to pop that gen in the last moments of the game.
Yeah, then that is the new Ormond tile, by the way. It's one of those, like, I don't know how to describe the tile, but we'll probably see more of it in the upcoming sets right after a short break. And it's going to be the Ghoul on the Blood Lodge. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are here on the Blood Lodge playing some Ghoul. Nightlight here for the Ghoul. It's going to be Volatar, Laser, Zaka, and I cannot
Shen.
read that second name. Thank you, Shen. For Team Nokron here, immediately seeing the chase over on the 10th level map or the top side and getting a really early tag here is Nightlight. So pretty standard stuff here for the Ghoul. My favorite killer, Lily. How are we feeling?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm also very curious to see what has changed on the Blood Lodge after these map reworks. And that's going to be Ruin gone immediately. That actually sucks so bad for Nightlight. What the heck? The bus is open?
Yeah, they've gotten rid of the window on that type of bus spawn, and they've made it so that, by the way, this is what I mean.
Yeah, that was hinder now when he grabs you.
Yeah, when he grabs you in bolts.
Wow, yeah, barely enough distance to get that down very quick.
Yeah, and yeah, they've gotten rid of the window on that bus spawn, so it's a little bit, I think, I'll say easy. I feel like it's a little bit easier for killer almost, because you don't have to worry about the window now. But in some ways, it can probably be better for survivor.
Yeah, it depends on how you play it, but definitely weaker. I feel like on this for the pallet at least, because now you don't have like that full rotation to make, which we did see there. Shen was forced to leave the bus tile very early, with that pallet still dropped as well. And looks like we're going to be venturing around, seeing if we can get another mark on somebody, because I think we are going to be losing our enraged very soon if we don't get that. But looks like we are going to be able to get it, and that's going to be it reapplied onto Shen. That's going to be deep wound. This is our medkit survivor as well, so this is a good person to tunnel. Somebody would have to rotate to grab that medkit from him, and oh, very nice body block from Zaka to keep Shen alive. We very nearly got around him, and listen to that shack gen. It's very, very nearly done, but that's going to be Shen going down. We're going to try to die on that pallet. We do have SB allowed, but we are going to have a bunch of infections here now. That's Zaka injured, Laser injured, and we know where Ward is, and we are going to get a tag on him as well, but I think we are going to see Shen picked up in the meantime. So Nightlight thinks that and is going back, and looks like somebody was here for the pick, but now we can't really pick as well if we are Nightlight. And Ward doing a good job of avoiding that mark there. I mean, Nightlight hits anybody, they're going to get that pick. What the? Okay,
I mean,
what is that,
that
angle?
Now, you may... This was definitely a smart play here from Nokron, just being able to, like, yes, we get injuries, but against Ghoul, that's a given, and also being able to prevent that tunnel out from happening is going to be huge, but we don't even make the window! Very unfortunate stuff here from Shen here, getting down yet again, and you can do quite a bit of progress on Nokron as well, just playing around for that pallet, so getting that tag onto Zaka as well going to be huge here, and Shen going to be going on for the second stage.
Yeah, we did have all survivors kind of swarming that pickup on Shen. We did end up getting it, but unfortunate he didn't make that main vault. Thanks to that second dash that Nightlight did, we were able to get that conversion. And looks like we're trying to pressure this Shack gen as well. If they pull, we can just go back at any time. Not only one healthy survivor, so we probably don't have to worry about an FTP here. And looks like, unfortunately, Shen is the FTP survivor. I know we do have a perk blocker on the screen, but that is Shen with FTP, so that is not going to be a factor to delay Nightlight's tunnel out at all. And we do have a kick on the Shen with Eruption. So this is a bit of a tumultuous spot for Nokron here. We do have a very good spot for Nightlight here with this hook. Maybe 15 seconds away from dying here is Shen. And we're just going to be happy to camp this out. We know there's not too much gen progress, and that's going to be our last healthy survivor. Baiting that a little bit to try to deny the trade, but we do still make it a trade. But it is going to be a little bit of a time waste.
Yeah, you will notice that they actually waited until Nightlight was out of enraged to pull. So pulling at the last second, but also waiting for that enraged to go will mean that Shen will actually have a bit of a longer chase, just because you have to now reapply the enraged when you either go for the tunnel.
Is he dead here?
That's not going to be good. I think he's
Oh,
dead
that's
here.
very close.
Oh! Oh, good stuff from Shen. Is going to be able to convert back to Shaq here, vaulting the window, vaulting the Shadow Palette, and that is going to force Nightlight to now break the palette. We do not have Centipede. And Shen going to be able to remake it over to this 50-50, and now we are seeing a tag coming in from Laser, so good stuff here from Team Nokron, aka Team Praxis. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, really good team play there to keep Shen alive for a little bit longer, and we did see for just a second there, Nightlight did cancel that dash, so Shen got a little bit more distance, and that's going to be Zaka coming in for a hit tank as well. We are just kind of rotating these heals to keep Shen alive. We can't really let him die, and perfect timing from Shen to drop that pallet right as Nightlight cancels. I think he's dead here, though, unless that power pull-up is going to get him enough distance, but it's not. And that's going to be the death onto Shen. All things considered, not bad tunnel out timing at all, especially with the body blocks coming in. We do still have everybody injured. No Thana, but we do still have a lot of pressure around the map now. But we are going to be losing that Enrage very soon here. Never mind.
Yeah, reapplying Enraged here. Not going to be a down onto Laser here, very unfortunately, but getting that Enraged back is going to give Nightlight a little bit more pressure to be able to just go around the map and reapply Eruption everywhere. So we did lose Ruin, but you might not hate that considering where we are on the map, and is going to be able to... So that's a little bit of a...
an awkward vault there.
Sometimes you just... Yeah, sometimes you just don't get the vault, but we did get the hindered there, but isn't going to mean much considering we weren't able to get the full vault speed here. Zaka going to be taking chase over at this filler palette. Filler palette strong against Ghoul here.
Laser greedy.
This is a bit of a greed from Laser. A bit of an incoherent greed here from Laser coming through, allowing for Nightlight to get the down onto Laser in the main building, and it's going to mean that the pressure is going to stop a little bit. We don't have pain resonance actually. So
yeah, but we do have an immediate chase onto Zaka instead, and yeah, Nightlight doing a great job of punishing that greed. I don't think Laser expected him to just 180 turn to that gen, so really good play from Nightlight here, and we're going to be waiting out that Eruption cooldown. So still very doable. This could go either way, honestly, and we do end up finding Ward. He's kind of caught out. He's going to go down here. And now everything is up to Zaka. I don't know if he's rotated in time for this pull. I don't think he has. Zaka is the last person alive, but we're not going to be able to make it for the pull. This could be a 4K2 here.
Is this actually going to be a 4K2? Is going to be a strong result here for Team Invictus, and I don't think there's anything Zaka can do. It's just going to take the fight over the loop here to reapply his enraged mode. I
mean, we can just stand here and wait forever, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like we've just accepted our fate. 4K2, huge result here from Team Invictus. I don't think it should be that, but
yeah, I mean,
still
incredible result. This game could have gone either way, but just showing the power of Ghoul, like his traversal, able to get that down onto Ward and then able to make it back to the unhook before Zaka even had time to get back there. We did see Ward was setting up for that pull, but that's going to be an amazing result for Invictus. Definitely setting themselves up to go up 2-0 in this best of 7 so far.
Yeah, so very, very good stuff here. When we come back, we will see if Nokron is able to respond in kind. But that is after a short break. Stay tuned.
Okay, welcome back everybody. You may be wondering why we are seeing Nightlight again. The unfortunate truth of it is that the teacup add-on is actually banned, and it wasn't caught till the end of the game, unfortunately. So we are having a replay and a -2. So Nokron has a second lease on life. So if we're Nokron, we're gonna hope that we don't get 4K2'd again. But we do have a very early hit onto Zaka. Very similar to the start of the last game. We're gonna have to see if Nightlight can keep up this pressure, but nice run from Zaka to avoid this. Mario, do you think that Nightlight can do it again?
I think it's gonna be a lot harder without Coffee. Coffee now a very, very strong add-on because of how New Ghoul works with his bounds. Getting this hindered right here will probably mean that Zaka might be dead, and luckily probably would have made it, but Ward taking a tag here for Zaka anyway, gonna be able to make it to the... No, gonna still be playing the filler palette. Another hindered applied here.
Might get this
but I think enough distance. Yeah, no, we tried to fake it, but it looks like Zaka will be dying here. Yeah, Coffee a very, very strong add-on, so it is understandable that it is bad now. Ghoul is pretty strong even without the mobility here, but that is going to be a down here for Nightly. Over onto the right side of the map, a Pain Resonance going to be applied as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be want to take hits here, so this Pain Resonance is going to be vital here. We do have more progress than just this generator, though, so that is good info for Nightlight, but also bad because it means that it is about to pop. And a tag on the Shen, too.
Yeah, so we do have 3 injured survivors here. So this is still a good start for Nightlight. Not quite as explosive so far as the other one, but definitely still a good pace. And Mario, you play Ghoul. Do you know why Nightlight looks down when he does his first dash?
Yes, you will notice that when he does his first dash, his second and third dashes are not... They don't get lifted into the air, rather they drag on the ground. The reason you do that is because you gain a little bit more distance, not a significant amount, but the other reason is because it kind of throws survivors off. They cannot see you in your animation, so it can sometimes help a little bit with throwing survivors off their paths as well. So it can be sometimes a very good thing to do.
Okay, that's a good tech to know. And looks like we do have Laser coming in for this trade. We're going to try to body block it. It might be possible, but just too open of an area, so we are going to get that trade off. And that's going to be Laser going down. That's going to be Eruption procced on one of these gens. And we are, I don't know, I think he makes that. Yeah, I think he still has that base kit BP, and that's going to be live coming out, I think. But, oh, and we make it to this other filler as well. And that's going to be our first gen popping, and we are going to make it. Oh my god, we almost body blocked that. That's going to be 2 gens popping, and that's going to be Zaka getting a bit more distance. Probably another body block here, so definitely a better start for Nokron here. Definitely showing that the not having Coffee does make a bit of a difference in these chases.
Yeah, I mean, Coffee, very, very strong add-on again. Like, not being able to... I think if with Coffee, he would have actually been able to body block that crane there. So, showing kind of like the power of Coffee here. Vaulting over, a bit of a hindered status effect. The question is, will we get this hit over the window? We will not. So, Zaka going to be lasting a little bit longer. Going to be able to play this filler, or this tile here. But here comes Shen. Oh. Or not Shen, sorry, Volatar to take a hit. But we're going to be... not getting the tag here. We'll finally be getting the tag here. Showing the strats against Ghoul. Taking hits when you can is very, very strong here. This filler palette is going to be a little bit harder, especially now that we don't have power, so we have no choice but to reapply the enraged mode. Zaka going to be lasting a little bit longer because of that. Very, very good looping from Zaka so far.
Yeah, much better start here for Team Nokron. And look at this, we're able to chain back to this tile again, and we go for the vault. We're predicting the double vault, but nice patience from Zaka. Not going to go for it, but we do predict the W to this other pallet, and that's going to be Zaka downed. We do see somebody cranking away on that crane gen as well. So that's going to be second hook at 3 gens, so definitely much better pace for Nokron here. Honestly, I didn't realize how much Coffee actually affected these chases with this these new changes to Ghoul.
Yeah, Coffee very, very strong here, especially like tiles like Crane. Normally because of Coffee, Crane is a very unsafe tile. Just because you're able to catch up around the pallet if they're trying to loop around it. So, but without Coffee, it becomes a little bit easier to loop here. We are seeing, again, Shen here working this top side of map generator. Is going to get bitten, though, so that's going to be enraged, reapplied, and Nightlight's probably going to be leaving to want to go back to Unhook to probably tunnel out here, but it doesn't look like he's actually interested in doing that.
Yeah, Zaka actually got fully healed in that time that we committed to Shen, so I think we're going to give up on that one a little bit. And the hinder might be enough to make it for this down, and it is. So we're going to have another fresh down onto Shen, and that's going to be Eruption onto that crane gen. I believe Zaka was on that. I think we heard him scream, so might be able to get a bit of aura on him if you do want to go and chase him. Whoa, crazy dash here. And we are predicting that Bolitar was on this gen, but looks like he went somewhere else. He actually... Oh, he's on this crane gen. How did he just get healed?
I am not sure here.
So
Zaka
we'll
gonna be stealth. We'll make it, yeah. Very, very strong. Reset perks are very, very strong against Ghoul, just because unlike Legion, where you can kind of get away with sitting injured, Ghoul is not one of those killers, right? Because Ghoul can be on top of you in 2 seconds flat. So you do need to reset against this killer, which is one of the strengths of him, getting injuries so quickly and being able to just getting injuries so quickly and making it so survivors cannot safely crank gens means that the slowdown from Ghoul comes from just being able to make it so that survivors have to reset. But is it going to actually... Is it going to get this tag onto Bolitar here? Bolitar going to be able to make it over to... Ooh, but Bolitar actually not going to be able to make anything. He's going to be taking a tag here before able to make Shack.
Yeah, no filler spawn there outside of Shack. So a bit of a, you know, more chaotic game here, kind of going back and forth, but lots of heals coming through. We did see Shen getting that second wind off. He's probably the one who healed Bolitar at the start of this game after he took that hit. So good use of their perks in this trial, but we do see Call of Brine proccing once again on this crane. So we're going to go over and try to interrupt this survivor here, expecting the pre-leave, but looks like Bolitar left very, very early. So we don't have too long left on this enraged mode now. We do find Shen around main building here, but I don't think we want him. We're trying to find anybody else in a worse position, but nobody's here, and now we don't have our enraged mode. Actually, I think somebody might be here. It's Zaka in a locker on the edge map, but we are not going to check that. Why would we ever check a locker?
And this is kind of what you would expect from Ghoul more so. I mean, just kind of like chaotic gameplay going from gen to gen, trying to play for playing for injuries and playing for survivors to mess up here. The kind of basic slowdown that Ghoul can get from just playing around injuries. But Team Nokron is playing around it super duper well here, just stealthing out the killer, making sure that Nightlight is not able to really reapply any pressure here. And it's not going to be a full bite, but it is going to be mark applied, so enraged mode is going to be active, but not for as long as we would like it, maybe.
Yeah, I can't believe he hit that, actually. Kind of a crazy hit. We might be searching lockers now, actually. Oh, looks like Zaka's stealthing here. If we find Zaka, this could be really bad. But we are checking edge map. Zaka with the good stealth in the tile this time. And look at all these edge map lockers. Very, very strange after these changes. And we get the tap onto Shen again, but not going to get the tag. He was able to slip inside main, and that's going to be 2 gens popping. We're now at 1 gen left.
This is an example of how you would counter Ghoul here, playing for tags, playing to prevent the tunnel out, and stealthing. And the emphasis that is placed on making sure the Ghoul does not find you cannot be better applied, and we are seeing another strategy, which is taking tags here from Laser. Meanwhile, Zaka's working that topside generator. This is looking like a really good result here from Team Nokron.
Yeah, Nokron really, really making use of this replay. Definitely showing that they are much more equipped to looping the Ghoul with these more standard add-ons instead of this crazy coffee that we had last time, unfortunately. And this is still a lot of people injured, but that's going to be the last gen popping. This is Ward with the adrenaline. We do have Laser fresh hook though, so still could get a good amount of stages here. Definitely still doable for either team here. If Laser does die on this hook, it's I think 7 stages here, which honestly for Ghoul Blood Lodge it is very beatable on either side here. So this is getting to be a much closer match after this reset here. And we might be able to get a down onto Shen here, but look at that perfect unhook timing. We're gonna leave this and go back for Laser. Hopefully we can get there before they get that heal off, and yes, we do make it. We do need to get laser here. Unless we get ward instead. He is fresh hooked. This is sketchy.
We could get Bolitar. Yeah, Bolitar would be an amazing conversion to get here. That's another fresh hook, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to happen.
No.
Because of that fight, it means he does not have his charges, and all the survivors will be leaving here with 4, or is it 4 or 5? I think 4 stages.
Yeah.
On the board. That is a really good result. Normally, Ghouls expected 6 to 8 on Blood Lodge here, but 4 stages is going to be very, very difficult for Invictus to beat.
Yeah, especially with that -2. Invictus probably a little bit upset over this replay going from this 4K to 4 stages. So we'll have to be right back while we swap over to the new lobby here, guys.
welcome back everyone to the Entities Campfire. We are here this time with Bolitar playing for Team Nokron. The Ghoul here. It's going to be Dan, Spitz, Nightlight, and Pedro for Team Invictus. We are already seeing a really early chase here on to Spitz here and a tag coming through a fight as well. We are also seeing another survivor rotating as well. To remind you, Invictus only has Nokron only has to get 3 stages on the board here, maybe 4 because of the penalty, to actually take the set. So while I do think Ghoul should be only 6 to 8 stages with the RNG Blood Lodge, I don't know if that's going to be super beatable. But Lily, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's definitely like a doable result, but like in a very, very difficult sense of the matter, especially with these 2 tags early on, especially if this converts into a down. But it looks like Ward flew a little bit too far, so Nightlight's gonna live a little bit longer. We do have to see some really good chases here, and this is exactly what we need from a start for Invictus. They're definitely not going to give up on this win con. Definitely seen Invictus pull out some amazing things in the past, so if anybody can do it, definitely Invictus could. A little bit unfortunate for them after they did have that amazing result that got reset, but nice hit tank coming in from Pedro. Seeing some really good strats from these teams so far. The hit tanks are just on point so far between both of these teams.
Yeah, and it used to be that the hit tank wouldn't have been necessary there, simply because you can make the pallet, so it would just be about winning a 50. But now it unfortunately is necessary. We're seeing a swing coming in from Bolitar, not gonna actually hit Pedro there, coming into Shack to reapply the mending and to reapply the bite here. So we are getting our enraged back, but we need to go back to this tile because we do see Pedro around here. Perhaps we think we can play around this a little bit more effectively. Pedro going to be now taking chase over. No, going to continue to take chase over at these Phillip pads. And gens are flying here, Lily.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I can't believe they have 2 gens ready already with no down yet. So definitely don't count Invictus out yet, guys. They're definitely showing that they have the gen efficiency to make this work. Still no down yet, and we have an amazing chase coming from Pedro, and we hear Dan ready to support. We thought about flicking to him to get a tag early on, but not gonna give Bolitar that opportunity yet. And amazing chases coming out here, and now we are just gonna try to take the tag onto Dan. We almost missed that, actually.
Yeah, getting that tag onto Dan, though, means another injury is required. 2 injuries on the board, but again, we still don't have a down.
Yeah, still no down, and this is Spitz. He's healthy now. So still no downs during this game. I don't know how much gen progress they have anymore. Maybe those first 2 went a little bit quicker because we only had to send 1 person for the hit tank, but both are doing a good job of kind of ping-ponging these survivors, not letting them sit comfy for very long. But the chases from these serves have just been so strong so far, and Spitz, you know, very accomplished 1v1 player. But maybe this hinder's going to be a little bit too much, but he actually got the tag. He vaulted back.
Yeah, similarly to Wesker, if you time it correctly, you can actually vault back into the killer's face, and we are seeing Spitz, the master of the 1v1s here, being able to do so.
Oh.
But unfortunately, the body block coming in from Bolitar, not going to get it this time, and that is going to be the first down here for Bolitar onto Spitz, and a pain resonance to follow as well. However, because of how long it took to actually get this down, you have to imagine a Jet is about to pop even with this.
Yeah, that was honestly really amazing chases so far from Nokron. Good body block coming in from Nightlight just in case Spitz messed up the tech, but we did perform it there. But unfortunately, I don't know. I think the bus is too hard to do that on because of that barrel beside the pallet. I think that's probably a bit of why Spitz couldn't make that vault back, but so far, really good showing. If Nightlight doesn't make this vault, though, we're in a bad spot, and he doesn't make that vault, unfortunately, and we're going to go back to Spitz right as they're getting this unhook. It should be Dan here, but we're not going to be able to get that injured. But Spitz can't make this pallet either, so we are gonna... Okay, we're gonna make the vault and then probably see Dan play a little bit of linebacker here, and we are really good hit tank from Dan here. Nightlight's still on the ground, but we do have base kit tenacity now, and he did just get picked up as I said it.
Yeah, I mean, it does halt gen pressure because Dan is starts taking a hit for Spitz here. Nightlight's on the ground, though Pedro had to leave his generator to go pick up Nightlight, so still not the worst result in the world for Bolitar, even if we didn't get that down on to Spitz here. We are seeing Dan now over on this loop, but we have to take the bite here. We're not enraged. There's no way we can play around these loops without being enraged here. So very smart from Baltar to take that bite, but it will mean more time in chase for Dan.
Yeah, Invictus doing so good at extending these chases, not really giving any downs for free. And Dan with a crazy tech, the vault back. Oh my goodness, to deny the kidnap. Dan, amazing play there, able to vault back in time as well. That was actually crazy. We're seeing a anti-ghoul masterclass here, but Dan is eventually going to go down here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, people, those of you who despise ghoul, trust me, I know, I understand, but those of you who despise ghoul, take notes. This is how you play against the ghoul right here. Taking Dan over to this bottom side. Pain Resonance hook. The question is, can we stop a generator before it busts? We saw one was very close, and we do stop it. But here's the thing, Lily. There are 3 generators on the map with a significant amount of progress. Does that Pain Resonance even matter because of it?
Yeah, I mean, this gen is very nearly completed. We only have Eruption to work with. That's going to be Dan unhooked. We have our 3rd gen popping. Dan's going to be able to make something here. I think with that BT, he still has enough time to play around this pallet, but we just need to not go down here. And we go for the swing, but Dan is going to make that. And was that smash it? I feel like he got a little bit fast there, but he didn't take any distance here. But this is going to be Dan living a little bit longer, and we're going to drop this chase. Bolitar is in a bit of a tricky position here. We did see a nice pre-leave from main. We don't want to get caught out at this main gen anymore. And that's 4th gen!
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Oh my goodness. And remember, we still have this generator main is still high progressed as well. So Bolitar's not out of the woods. I mean, this is a low win condition, but you still have to remember that, like, these teams show exactly how to, like, play against these players, and, like, if Bolitar is not careful, it's very possible Invictus could clinch the win here.
Yeah, the only thing that might make this difficult, honestly, Invictus set up so well here. They're gonna have to make some mistakes for Bolitar to come back here, but we do have Noed in the pocket as well, so it is possible we can win entirely on the back of this Noed if somebody gets caught out at the end game. But only 2 stages so far. If we are able to pop that last gen and then have somebody hooked with that Noed, we could cleanse the Noed totem and still see an Invictus win here, even in spite of the Noed. We do find Dan, who did just get healed up, probably with that med kit, and we're going to be getting our Enrage back, but Bolitar has just nothing going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is some really good stuff here from Team Invictus here. Bolitar very likely is going to be playing into the Noed here a little bit. And Noed actually a very, very strong perk on Ghoul, just because, like, being able to actually pounce on top of healthy survivors and just kill them and not even have to bite them is a very, very strong mechanic that Ghoul is able to abuse a little bit. But we are seeing Chase here on the top side of the map, looping with friends a little bit, dropping this pallet, but unfortunately hugging the pallet a little bit too much, as Nightline is going to result in a down for him as well. This bottom side generator going to be doubled here, but Pain Resonance coming through to stop it.
Yeah, Bolitar might just take this after all, after honestly really, really close set for how low this win condition was. And we see a 99 to SB from Dan to survive a little bit longer, but we're going to be in a bit of danger with this vault, but we are going to immediately run, and we're going to be able to make it back in spite of that hinder. No, we don't!
Oh.
Bolitar ping, too strong.
That is the strength of the hinder as well. Had that not been the case, you know, pre-dispatch Ghoul, that would have been fine, but that hinder is very, very, very strong.
And that's going to be last gen pop.
Yeah, I mean, all gens will be popping here, but I think the win condition has already been met.
Yeah, it definitely has been, and I think we're going to see Bolitar getting a couple more stages here with this Noed. I think Pedro is going to be going down here. They're not going to be expecting that Noed, but that's going to be Noed coming through. But honestly, very, very close game. Invictus showing that even with the restart, it's not going to be... It's going to be doable for them. That was an incredibly close game. Bolitar barely pulling that game out. Invictus just showing so strongly how to loop against the Ghoul and making it into a 3k 10 here, but looking very, very close. Only 4 stages going into that end game. Oh my goodness. This was just so incredibly close. I can't believe it. I'm just loving what we're seeing from Invictus today. These chases were just so amazing. The teamwork was so strong. But that is going to be Nokron taking this set.
Yeah, I mean, like, this also showcased how strong of an add-on Coffee is, and
Yeah.
also how strong the Ghoul can be, even with perks like Noah that you don't typically see run on killers that get hits like bites like that. But when we come back, it's gonna be the Tricker. Oh God, the Trickster on
Yeah.
the Wrecker's Yard. So stay tuned for that.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here on set number 3. We have Trickster on the Wrecker's Yard. This is once again Invictus's pick. We have Nightlight on the Trickster versus Nokron / Praxis survivors. Mario, are you excited? I know Nightlight loves his Trickster.
Trickster is one of those killers that a lot of people say they hate going against. Honestly, I don't mind it. It's kind of just a whole W set, I feel like, and we are seeing a bit of a spectator bug here. We're not getting the chase music. But
Oh yeah, that's boring.
you know, Trickster is one of those killers that's you just kind of hold W. You kind of don't stay in the same place for too long. You kind of play around these tiles a little bit as long as you possibly can. And then you just get, as Laser is doing right now, you just kind of like loop around it over and over again.
We had a nice pallet break fake though.
We did, yeah. That actually kind of costed Laser. I was gonna say the tag, but Laser is so far doing a really, really good job at not giving the tag for free here.
Yeah, dodging this final knife really well, but ends up vaulting into Nightlight right at the end, and this is gonna be a quick 2-tap. We did have to pop the main event because he would make that pallet anyway, but that's gonna be relatively fast down for Nightlight. We've actually seen a lot of Trickster so far this season in EC. I think in main stage, we've only had a handful of sets that did not have Trickster in them. So it's been a very popular set so far, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're also seeing a bit of a different, I don't want to say end game build here, but a more geared towards getting maybe lower stages here, because we're seeing No Way Out. And a more chase-heavy perk into Bamboozle as well. So we want to play more into chases while also progressing the gens or regressing the gens at the same time with Pain Resonance. So we are also seeing a chaser coming in over at the crane here. I'm not sure exactly who this is, but we're taking advantage of the Trickster's inability to really take effective chases that aren't ranged by just breaking line of sight as much as possible. And now that Laser has been unhooked, we're interested in going back to the unhook, and Laser is interested in taking chase at Shack.
Yeah, that's going to be our chase on Laser. For a second there, I thought that Nightlight was maybe going to choose to play for Freshes instead. And Laser, that is not safe. You cannot drop Shack in front of Trickster. Nightlight showing some great Trickster knowledge, getting that redown onto Laser at Shack very, very quickly. We're debating on where to go, but looks like we are going to take our hook into this corner of the map where we know nobody was for a long time. Yeah, there's no progress on that gen. We know there's not going to be too much progress on Laser's gen. That's going to be 3rd gen popping. So definitely gearing up to look like a stages game here unless something crazy happens here. And that's going to be Zaka out of nowhere with a flashbang.
Yeah, I mean, Trickster is also one of those killers that, like, in situations like that you find yourself in Shack where you're probably gonna die without dropping that pallet, you need someone to drop it for you, because you need to be able to keep making distance while that person is able to drop Shack and allow you to make even more distance because the Shack pallet is gone. So in those situations, you really need to play around more team coordination there. You cannot afford to drop the Shack on your own.
Yeah, you definitely need support there. So maybe showing a little bit of lack of knowledge about the Trickster. We didn't have anybody set up to help Laser, but we did see in the meantime of this chase that Laser did get pulled, and Shen did drop an FTP on him, but Nightlight could care less. We are just going for Zaka here instead. So that's going to be our 3rd hook of the game. A fresh hook with a Pain Res to boot, and that's going to be 2 stacks of No Way Out here. So probably looking to gear up to get a couple extra stages in the end game. Hopefully get at least another fresh hook before that last gen pops, which we should be able to do. I don't know if anybody's actually here though, but it looks like we're gonna go back to chase Zaka or maybe the unhooker here.
And we are actually seeing Zaka, so we are interested in maybe chasing Zaka, so we don't actually have a tunnel out and a head-on coming in from Balatar. So great stuff from Team Nokron here, playing around the Trickster's weaknesses very, very well, but now will be a tag here coming in onto Balatar. We're interested in actually taking
Are we gonna see a 3rd main event down at this pallet, perhaps? But looks like Balatar holding his distance very well, but that's gonna be, oh my goodness. This pallet is just actually doomed. This is gonna be the 3rd down around this pallet, but Balatar wasting a little bit of extra time with these jukes. That's gonna be 4th gen popping, and our 3rd survivor downed, and another Pain Res here as well. So this pallet proving to be very, very lethal. Nobody has survived it, but that's going to be last gen popping already.
Wow.
And that's no way out procced immediately, so we're not going to get that third stack. Wow.
I'd like to make an argument here that Balatar showing his Neo from the Matrix cosplay, dodging those daggers there, is gonna make it so that he can't get that pain resonance, and that's probably the reason that that gen pops. I mean, it was probably down to the wire, but missing your shots there
Oh, we found Shen.
was costly.
This is a fresh hook survivor here.
Yeah, finding our fresh hook here is going to be huge, and no way out, meaning we can actually freely chase this for a little bit of time here, is also going to be huge. But the gates will be ready to be worked on right now, so the survivors on the opposite side of the map are going to be doing exactly that. Nightlight not missing a single shot. Grandmaster aim a little bit here. Continuing chase over onto this top side of the map here. Needs to play around this filler, doing very, very well to do so, and that will be a down onto Shen.
Now we have to decide where we want to take this hook, though. Smart to reload before we take that hook, so we can successfully camp this out. We could hook exactly on the gate here, and they wouldn't be able to do anything. Yeah, this is so close to the gate. This could be Shen dead here. It is very, very difficult to pull versus the Trickster, especially with these main event buffs that come in. So this is a pretty good spot for Nightlight, all things considered. We might see the survivors leaving on this if they feel like it's unsavable. We don't want to accidentally give more stages than this would give. So we're just we're just gonna sit here for a while.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason for Nightlight to actually... Yeah, I was going to say, there's no reason for Nightlight to leave, and there's no reason for the survivors to save. Yeah. We do not want to give any more stages than is necessary here. So that is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages on the board here for Trickster. Pretty standard result here for the Trickster on Ricker's Yard.
Yeah, pretty good result. Getting all 4 fresh as well is always going to be a good thing for the overall score. So we're going to have to see if Nokron/Praxis can... beat that result at all, but with the way Invictus survivors have been playing today, I think it's going to be a bit of a tall ask, to be honest. So we'll see in just a short break, guys. All right, welcome back everybody to the second half of the Trickster set. We have Bolitar for Praxis or Nokron here versus Invictus survivors. We have to get 8 stages to win this. Nightlight did get 4 fresh, so the extra points he would get from that is not gonna matter. So 7 would still be, I mean, it would be tie or win, depends on kind of the spread of hooks. But we're gonna have to see if Bolitar can get 8 hooks here. We do have these survivors honestly spreading out really well here so far, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, Bolitar also choosing to run No Way Out here. You do typically, and endgame perks on the Trickster is not a terrible idea. People don't typically run No-Ed because, I mean, it kind of is kind of counterintuitive on the Trickster. Yeah. But so No Way Out, definitely a smart decision here. But it does mean, unlike No-Ed, that's a really good hit, by the way, for the main event to actually pop here. But the question is Nightlight going to be able to dodge it entirely? And it looks like he actually is. Nightlight doing an amazing job. The question is, can it run out in time? But it does not! Amazing stuff from Bolitar to actually get it down to the... I think that was the last dagger, Lily.
Yeah, that was very, very close to the end. And I think we're going to be able to get a basement hook off of this now. So all that progress on Shack, actually we changed our mind because we think somebody's camping that Shack pallet. So we're just going to take this hook over here instead, but we're hooked in between a lot of gen progress here. Nightlight very nearly dodging all of that main event. Maybe if he took a little bit more distance towards 3, he maybe could have dodged it all, but doing a good job of wasting it all at least, and Bolitar doing a good job of getting that down at the last itty bit of main event. So honestly, with this start, it honestly could go either way. We do have a bit of a cozy gen setup here. We don't have Eruption though. We actually have the exact same build that Nightlight ran.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying No Way Out is also I mean, clearly a viable option on the Trickster over No-Ed. The downside to it over No-Ed though is the fact that you do have to build up fresh hooks. You can't just tunnel out and expect No Way Out to really do its thing. It'll do its thing regardless, but it's strength built with unique hooks that you get on the map. So it is one of those perks that's tunnel outs not really going to help you.
Yeah, they don't get you anything except for somebody dead. But yeah, Bolitar here with a nice perch on the hill. We were able to pressure Spitz out a bit and then stop the rotation from Dan on this gen. We actually hit 2 cross-map knives onto Dan. Not going to be enough, but I don't know if we're going to see Nightlight. Yeah, we see Nightlight going to second stage. Still only 1 gen popped though, but I imagine Pedro has to be cranking somewhere close on another generator, and we do want Spitz to be able to pop this gen, but because of those 2 knives he hit earlier, we're able to get the injure onto Dan relatively quickly around the bus. We can't really go down here. This would be a pretty bad spot for Invictus here, and we're going to see the unhook onto Nightlight, and that's going to be main event onto Dan, and no amount of juke is going to save you from that. So that's going to be 1 stage onto Dan here. Maybe our first pain res. Yes, definitely. We have all the options in the world for that.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, the trajectory of this game is actually looking in Bolitar's favor, because getting that pain resonance as well as 2 stacks of No Way Out with the amount of gen pressure that we actually have on the map, Nightlight being second stage, if you can find Nightlight now, you would love life. Getting Nightlight out of the game this early on would be incredible, but unfortunately we will not be seeing Nightlight. Instead, we will be seeing the unhooker into Spitz coming in, and it looks like we're actually wanting to, we're wanting to try to get Dan out of the way here, get another stage onto Dan maybe. Would be nice, but it will mean another gen. That is insane! Yeah, beautiful stuff here from Bolitar.
Not a very safe tile versus Trickster. The bus, we need to get Dan out of this area in the future, but looks like we are just crawling away, and that's going to be 3rd gen pop. It's going to be Dan Deathhook as well as Nightlight. So we are in a little bit of a tricky spot for Invictus. Definitely still very doable from either side. So this game is, I think, going to turn out to be pretty close here. Dan really, really needs to be able to get out of that bus area if we want to have any hope of taking this game. But we do have a lot of gens very far away from the hook. So as long as Dan isn't FTP, which he is not, neither is this survivor either. But we do need Dan healthy and out of that bus area. There's 2 buses?
There are 2
I just realized, but we found Nightlight here. Actually, this is much more urgent. Nightlight is about to go down. If he gets hit by 2 more knives here, he is going to be going down, but some good pathing from Nightlight to dodge this. Boltar doesn't know where he is, but he just barely hits 2 knives at the end again.
That is massive. Getting
Wow.
Nightlight out of the game here
And Painrez
could mean... Yeah, and Painrez will mean that probably Bolitar is sitting really pretty here. 1 generator remaining, but remember, it's 3 survivor protocol, whereas in the last game, Nokron didn't really, or sorry, Invictus didn't really have that situation, so...
Ooh.
This is really, really good stuff here for Bolitar, and this Repressed Alliance as well will mean that the generator not going to regress anymore, and that is chased on to Dan.
We're just running in a straight line. Dan, please. Oh no, that's Dan injured already, and this is main event going on at this tile. Main event lasts just so long. Dan trying his best not to die, but both are getting these hits around corners, and that's Dan dead too. This is 2 survivors dead with 1 gen left. I don't know if the gen's gonna pop. This is now gonna be a 2v1. We need both these survivors to escape for Invictus to win this Trickster set.
Yeah, you're looking at 2 more stages on the board for a victory in the Trickster set. They're doubling out. This generator, the question is, will they be able to check? The question is, does it even matter? A blind coming through. However, it doesn't matter as the generator will pop both injured survivors. And this hook on to Pedro will almost cement it if we can find Spitz. Spitz is injured. We see blood. We're chasing. And we know exactly where Spitz is. I don't think there's any way that team... Invictus is getting out of this one.
Yeah, with that no way out just proccing, that's gonna be 4K0. We just needed a couple more seconds from Dan, and we maybe could have done it with this Trickster set. But unfortunately, that find on Nightlight, the down on Dan, just running in a straight line in the open. Little nodders from Spitz, and that's gonna be 4K0 for Nokron. A little bit of a mind game there from Spitz. You know, winning the ego battle for sure.
Definitely, and that is going to be 4K with 0 stages remaining, meaning that Nokron has taken this Trickster set. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here from Bolitar. Bolitar played into the win conditions super duper well there, knew the assignment, and aced it entirely.
Yeah, now we just have to find Pedro here on the ground, but looks like we do end up finding him very quickly, so we're not gonna have to waste too much time here. While we wait to go into our 4th set here, which is Nokron's pick of Lich, so that means Nokron is gonna be up 2-1 here over Invictus, and we're gonna be going into Lich here and seeing if Nokron can take the advantage. If they are able to go up 3-1, they would be set up very pretty in this best of 7. You need 4 set wins to win. So we'll have to see what they can do while we switch over to the Lich. welcome back everybody. We are here on set number 4, Lich DDS. I hear Lich has been buffed a lot, so maybe a bit of an explosive game. We have Dispelling Sphere on 2 survivors at the start of the game. I was scared we had the bug for a moment, but not quite. And we're going to be having these skeletons set and ready, forcing Spitz to go to this wagon pallet a little bit weaker. I am without Mario at the moment. He had to go AFK suddenly as we loaded in. But that's going to be first hit onto Spitz, nice and quick. We do have flyback, but I think we are going to be able to make it to the shack pallet. Regardless, we're going to get a nice pre-drop on that. So nice chase coming out from Spitz here. We're going to use the fly to catch up after this pallet break, and that's going to be Spitz dropping the pallet, but he does make that vault. The cooldown on the fly is just long enough, and Spitz going to be playing around these vaults. He only has 1 more vault, so we have to be a little bit careful here. Maybe going to go for a skelly through the wall, but Spitz holding W, playing around water tower instead. We do have that mage hand. We do see Boots giving a little bit of haste, but Spitz is going to make it around just fine. We swing through. I did not think mage hand held it for that long, and Spitz actually has another vault here. This now locked. We do have the fly to catch up and stop him from making it to the shack, but I think we are going to get that vault. Really well played from Spitz there. Kind of body blocked him a little bit so that he couldn't get that vault before him. So really strong chase coming out from Spitz, and we are able to make it back all the way to the water tower. I feel like there's got to be a lot of gen progress on the team here for this. Corrupt almost out for this chase. That's going to be the pallet broken. Ward doesn't want to play around it much longer, and that's going to be first gen popping already. And a nice duck from Spitz, living even longer, and we're going to be able to make it all the way around. And welcome in Mario. We have an amazing chase here. We've chased all of Corrupt, and we have a body block. That's 2 gens for the first chase so far, and no down, and a nice pallet drop from Nightlight to get Spitz so much more distance. That's 3 gens popping.
Holy. Yeah, I mean, I was a proponent for the fact that maybe DDS Vecna was no longer a good thing, but I'm clearly being proven wrong here.
Yeah.
As Spitz is just taking an amazing chase so far, thanks to only some minor help from his teammates here, and winning these 50-50s super duper well, but is unfortunately not going to win that. But 3 gens popped for this chase, Lily. I mean, again, I was telling you a little bit before this that I feel like DDS Vecna is now very, very strong because of the buffs to Vecna, but now I'm not so sure. I mean, the top teams are clearly showing me, no, he's still fine on DDS.
Yeah, leave it to Spitz to prove you wrong there. That's going to be first hook after 3 gens. We did get a proc of the Painter, so we know somebody is on other gens. That's a little bit of progress on Water Tower. Water Tower not super safe anymore because that is where Spitz spent his entire chase, but that's Spitz unhooked already. I think we're already playing for freshes here, and Nightlight dodging the skeletons very well here. We don't have a shack pallet anymore, but we do still have these wagon pallets, and that's when we both are breaking out this door and debating using fly.
Yeah, I mean, we are draining some resources pretty effectively here, which is something that you should do against our on Vecna. And you also are lifting up this pallet and unfortunately getting the tag through it as well. So very, very strong stuff from Bolitar here. But here's the thing, Lily. The gens are being... We hear Gallows being cranked right now. Yeah. So the gens are being cranked right now, and... You know, team in Nokron is showing their superiority.
Oh!
Vecna said they're clearly well mastered on it, and a tag coming in onto Pedro. That was a very interesting interaction right there.
Thank God Pedro did not get hit when he was falling. That was very, very close by the skin of his teeth. That's 4th gen popping. Only 1 hook stage so far, and Nightlight is gonna make it to Shack. We do have a little bit of a 3 gen here, but what can you do on Lich with only 1 hook stage? Nobody even remotely close to being dead. Nobody 2nd stage at all. We're going to be able to lift up this pallet, and Nightlight is going to die thanks to that Boots haste. But what can we do here? Listen to how much progress is on this gen upstairs there. I don't know if nobody's on it.
Yeah, I mean...
But there's so much progress on these gens.
Team Invictus is showing that they are practiced on the... I mean, this was Nokron's pick here, but Invictus is showing that they are very well practiced on the Dead Dog Saloon Vecna inside here. looping it very, very well. Amazing gen pressure coming through from the survivors here, and Bolitar being put in a very precarious situation.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of resources in this area, so Bolitar could very well get a couple more stages out of this game. But I think at this point, we're going to be like hoping to get 6, unless Invictus makes some grave mistakes or gets caught out in some dead zones or something here. But that's going to be Nightlight pulled. We do have the Skellies, but we are on the stairs, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. And we're going to have to try to help Nightlight get out. And we go for the Skellies, but we miss. And Pedro with a nice body block getting Nightlight out. He's going to be able to make it to main building. We do have the fly, though, so we're not going to greed and go upstairs. But Nightlight is just going to run all the way to main building. I wonder... Oh, we don't make that vault, just barely. That's going to be Eruption on that upstairs gen. Spitz was here to help, but Nightlight did not make it into the window.
Great stuff here from Bolitar, showing that he can get more stages from this. But here's the thing, you have to imagine the survivors are probably doubling out a generator, and the gens weren't too far behind in terms of progress here. And Dan is about to finish a generator, but Pain Resonance coming through will stop it just in time. Bolitar has a lot to be thankful for in that Pain Resonance right now, Lily.
Yeah, that Pain Res definitely saving Bolitar's game here. If that gen popped just then, that would have been an absolute nightmare. We would have been looking at 4 stages best here if that gen had just popped. But now we have Chase onto Dan. Dan, some fancy footwork here. Gonna have to last in Chase here. We do need to get away from these gens too. But I think we're gonna get tagged here. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to make it to this window. Okay, we actually almost did, but Bolitar with that finish net, and we're gonna pop the gen in his face. Nightlight doesn't care that he's injured.
My God.
We do have Dan and Pedro injured. We do really need to find them, but that's all 5 gens popped for 3 hook stages only, and on 2 separate survivors no less. All we can do is just hope to find a fresh hook, but I mean, Nightlight can always just trade for somebody in the end here, and we do end up finding only Nightlight. I feel like Pedro and Dan are probably out hiding somewhere trying to get a reset. Maybe that was them on top of main building. I don't know if that was them or not, though. This is looking bad.
Lily, when I told you that Vecna on DDS might be too strong for him, I was wrong.
Oh my God.
Clearly, it took the top teams in the world showing me why I was wrong.
Oh, Spitz is gonna have to die for Dan.
Oh no, so good stuff here. This is one of the things that Vecna it does exceed at.
Oh, we somehow glitched through Spitz.
Yeah, we're able to go through Spitz there, so it's kind of like a thing that you can do with his spells there, and the end of Fly allowed him to kind of lose collision, so great stuff there from Bolitar. Picking up Dan here, that's going to be a fresh hook for Bolitar here.
We did see Spitz run into the map. We don't want to give up this fresh hook. If we can keep this 4 stages, that would be perfect. I think we're going to hope for 5. We're going to try to get a reset onto Nightlight. Spitz, though, unfortunately, FTP'd, so I think the best case scenario here is we're going to send Nightlight in for a trade and get Dan out fresh and trade that 7 stages for 5. This is definitely the best play here. And we do see Nightlight healed. This gate is ready. Oh, and Spitz's FTP is done, actually, so we might see them reset him as well. They are being really sneaky here. They definitely can still get Dan out of this. Honestly, if they're able to keep this as 4 hooks, I will be very, very impressed here.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is that, like, trading against Vecna can be very difficult if he has his skeletons up. 2-tap potential is definitely there, so you do have to be very, very careful. If we're going to do that, we do spot the reset.
We only see one of them. Looks like they split up. Yeah, they split up around main.
Yeah,
so
they did split up in time.
Nightlight gonna waste time, so he gets hit edge map at the least. But yeah, we're not gonna bait it, and we're gonna be flying back just in time. Spitz is not gonna be here just yet, and now we have the Skellies ready, but we have not a lot of time. But we whiffed the Skellies, and it's gonna be a clean on hook. I think they're all out.
Wait,
we're gonna have to try to body block Dan, but yeah, we're all out. It's 4.
This didn't even have to be a trade. They're just all out.
Amazing plays from Invictus there. Bolitar missing the Skellies, and we're able to keep that 4 stages very, very low for Invictus survivors. Oh my goodness.
Well, that was incredible. I mean, I expected much higher stages coming in from the Trickster on the Dead Dog Saloon, but Invictus coming in and proving me wrong on many fronts here. And when we come back, we will see if Invictus the Killer is able to follow up on that.
Yeah, we'll be right back, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Entities Campfire. This time we are seeing Pedro here on the Lich, on the Dead Dog Saloon. Balatar, Zaka, Laser, and V1 here for Team Nokron. Immediately we're seeing a chase over on the 12th side of the map and a pre-drop coming in from Zaka, which is interested in taking that pallet. Thank you very much, Zaka. And chasing over on this other Philip. Another pre-drop, kind of what you have to do against the Lich here, especially with Mage Hand, but that will be a tag coming in on to Zaka as we are able now to make the Shatter. We're able to take skeletons early on. This might be a guaranteed hit here, but it not quite is going to be. Good dodge from Zaka. Flights coming through to try to catch up. This is a really good showcase from Zaka so far, Lily.
Yeah, that very nearly hit him. He almost dropped into that, but corrected at the last second and was able to dodge, so turning a potentially short chase into a much longer one. But we are burning all of these resources in the gallows area. We're going to be using, I mean, pretty much every darn pallet over here. But I don't think that Pedro has a 3-gen over here, so might have a good chase here. And it looks like Zaka is choosing to just die, edge map, waste more time. That's going to be first down, a little bit quicker for Pedro, but definitely still on a good pace to get at least a gen or two done here. That's going to be first gen done. Maybe a double, but could have just spawned on it as well. That's going to be Painter's coming through, but not proccing. Okay, so that confirms it was a double because we did not use a Painter stack. So 1 gen was doubled, 1 was soloed, and we still have our Painter's loaded on Zaka, but good start from Nokron here still, getting 2 gens done for that first chase.
Yeah, and I think this Despot is really good because if you turn, I don't think we don't have a 3-gen on this side of the map, right? So wasting the resources on this side of the map, we don't hate it just because like this is where the Despot's probably going to be a lot of the time going forward. I mean, they are going to have to start working these gens eventually, but for now, it's definitely not the worst place to be hooked.
I mean, in theory, they could ignore these gens forever. There's only 2 over here. They really don't have to come here at all. They could just let Zaka die on this hook for 3 gens, to be honest.
Like, and you're saying that, yeah, they could.
Like, if Pedro sticks around here for too long and they're just cranking, like, look at this progress already. 50 on another gen. But, I mean, Bolatar is rotating for the pull, so Pedro is a little bit correct here. I feel like maybe he's playing to get Zaka second and then leave and just go find somebody else, because we do have a pretty loose win condition, just need 5 stages, so maybe we can make something work. And that's going to be Zaka going struggle here as long as we didn't leave too early, and yes, we did not. So we are going to have some good timing there, getting Zaka second for, I mean, almost 2 gens though. 2 more. These are very, very high progress, and we are going to see the pull come in on Zaka very soon here. No pop, but we do have Eruption, and that is Laser just finishing his last gen, so this gen split is really strong here. And Bullets are actually, maybe he's working on a gen here. No, we are going in for the unhook finally, but we do see Laser here, maybe taking a chase on him instead, but looks like we are going to go for Zaka instead, but we don't want to throw this last gen by chasing Zaka. We very well could chase out this entire generator, but I guess we know we don't have progress on anything else. But looks like we're gonna change and chase Ward here. I think this is guaranteed down. No, we threw it too late.
Not quite, yeah. And you were right, I didn't see the gen spread initially, but theoretically they could have let Zaka there if Pedro decided to camp to death, and we are seeing Baltar is going to be dying here over onto the middle side of the map. So honestly, not the place. I don't think you want to be dying here simply because like the spread is completely split. We have bottom side and top side generators, so being able to hook here and get this pain resonance is going to mean that Pedro is still in this game, and we want to check this top side generator to see if there is progress, and there is progress. We are seeing Laser here working this generator, and quite a bit of progress as well. The progress on this map is an incredible. Main is good progress, and you have to imagine that generator over on the far bottom side is very close as well, but Laser will be taking a tag here, taking you over to the main building now, and Fly coming in, so you have to imagine down going to be happening very soon.
Yeah, this is very quick down onto Laser here, but with that Repressed Alliance, that gen is blocked, so we weren't able to put Eruption or Pop on it, but if it unblocks right as we get this Pain Res, which it does, we're still in this game. I don't think they're going to have enough time to pop that gen. They would have had to be sitting on it, doubling it immediately, and that's going to be our 4th hook already. So next hook is going to be a win for Pedro. This could go either way, honestly. They have so much progress here. We just need one
Yeah,
good
I
chase,
mean,
really.
like, you have to wonder if that repressed alliance actually worked against them. I mean,
Yeah.
being able to like get if they were able to sit on that generator immediately as soon as Laser was leaving, maybe they would have popped it. But again, they probably would have had to double for that to be the case. So it's
Yeah.
difficult really to say. And we're looking for a stealth here. We do suspect that might be happening. Meanwhile, you have to imagine that bottom side generator just being probably doubled while someone is sitting ready to unhook
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And yep, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Pedro can pretty safely camp this out, especially with Zaka being right here. We can be pretty safe that nobody is rotating for the pull otherwise. But now we do see some good info on that Dispelling Sphere that somebody is going for the pull. We get a tag onto Zaka, but we're going to have to leave, I think, and go interrupt this unhook. We do still need to get it down here. If Laser is Adrenaline, this could be a pretty tricky spot for Pedro. We very well could see this end up being a tie result, but looks like Laser is stuck here, and we do get the body block.
Ooh.
Really good timing from Bolitar.
That was really, really close. And that generator still hasn't popped yet, so I thought maybe they were playing a bit for Adrenaline there, but not quite the case. We are seeing Laser now going to be dying here, and Laser's death here, and if Pedro chooses to hook Laser, that is going to be the victory for Invictus on this set. We are seeing Bolitar here as well playing around for it. I mean, you don't hate the play. I mean, it's very possible. You have to, exactly. So you kind of had no choice there. It might not have looked like the smartest thing for some people, but again, it was kind of like, you kind of had to do that.
Yeah, we're a little bit scared of a beamer save, but we do eventually end up getting this pick, and that's going to be win confirmed for Pedro. So again, very, very close game on these sets. Like, just stages versus stages all night so far, and just down to the wire every single time. That hook just there is the win confirmed for Invictus. So incredibly tight game here on the Lich, which was Nokron's set, by the way. So now we're going to be tied up 2-2. And yeah, we're just going to take our lead.
Very, very good stuff here. 2-2 so far, Lily. We could be going the tiebreaker here. It very much depends on how things play out going forward, but we will have to see exactly what happens going forward when we come back with the Huntress set right after a short break.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here on the Wrecker's Yard with Zaka on the Huntress for good old Team Nokron versus Invictus survivors. We are tied up 2-2. This will determine who gets the third set point, setting them up for the potential set win. Once we go to Chucky after this, we have Zaka just searching for survivors. Mario, is there anybody here? Oh! There is.
There is somebody here, and that is Spitz getting a stun as well on
And the
Zaka.
smash it.
And the smash hit. Something that typically Huntresses will like to pull up around pallets like that, but getting that stun is actually very interesting. A lot of it could be 50-50s depending on if the Huntress decides to what's it called?
Pull up?
Respect or not.
Yeah.
Or pull up, yeah. But in this case, it looks like Spitz is actually playing around this these garbage fillers very, very well here, making sure that we're not getting that tag. And whoa, my goodness!
I feel like he missed his space bar. Oh no,
That is a
Spitz! His chase was going so good, and then I think he missed his space bar.
Oh.
Spitz, no!
Oh,
Even your
no.
idols can make mistakes. Oh no,
That is
Spitz.
unlucky. I was wondering if Spitz was purposefully like trying to aura farm the window to make Zaka think it was a double back, but I think you're right. I think it was just accidentally missing the spacebar coming in. So that is going to be first hook for Zaka onto Spitz. A pain resonance at this truck as well, and there's a little bit of progress going on this side of the map too. So I think this is the regressing generator.
Yeah, it is. So it looks like we actually died right on top of that gen. I mean, Spitz definitely did not expect to go down there. Theoretically, we should have lasted for both of these gens to pop, but an unfortunate mishap there going into the Huntress set. So we're going to need to make a good recovery here, but I'm sure Spitz won't make the same mistake again. That's going to be an early pull onto Spitz. We really want to pop these two gens in this area, but I think Zaka is choosing to not chase Spitz here. He's going for Pedro instead.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if there's a very good reason for that, right? It's very possible we want to get another early down on this side of the map just so we can halt the pressure again and just make sure that Invictus is not able to get much pressure going on to this side of the map, which would have been smart here. But unfortunately, because of that decision, Nightlight's not even going to get tagged here, and Spitz is going to make it away scot-free. Yeah,
and Pedro's doing an amazing job in this chase here. I think he kind of alley-ooped Zaka there a little bit, and that's going to be those two gens popping anyway. So it basically is like Spitz lasted for that chase, and now Spitz is full health as well. So now we have completely lost the tunnel out, and we have still no injury onto Pedro. His pathing has been just immaculate around this tile and to get away from the truck. And we see him not going for that vault. We don't want to get hatcheted. We're wasting so much time, Mario. We're burning so much time.
And I love the decision to never go for that window and instead just keep cutting the corner there and try to deny the hatchet hit. And unfortunately, it will mean that Pedro will be going on to the second stage, but still, even though that was a two-tap, that was still a really, really, really good down here for Zaka as we're going into the basement here, Lily.
Yeah, basement is very, very dangerous versus Huntress. Virtually unsavable unless she wanders very far away. And we have another gen here with pretty decent progress, about 50. And we're going to give that a kick for good measure. No regression perks in that regard. We actually have Bamboozle on Huntress, which I don't think I've seen before. And we actually see Spitz there. We're playing a little bit of a sentry here, and we see the third generator pop in the distance, but we have two active gens patrolled a little bit, and I think Spitz's gen is blocked on the one side, so we are kind of stuck here. With that rose root, we very well could get a surprise hatchet onto Spitz if we don't react in time, because our hatchets just go so fast. And exactly that.
Oh
nice shot from Zaka.
That was very necessary because not only did we get a free tag, but we also...
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the bait and switch there was unreal.
Oh my
I cannot, Mario, I cannot believe they got out of that. Oh my goodness. The double back from Nightlight. Oh. That was unreal.
They had no right escaping that basement completely free, but somehow they did. And that's going to be a kick onto this bottom side generator now with Spitz in chase over at this filler tile, but it looks like we're just leaving.
We have to reload.
We need to reload.
Yeah. And I mean, he's stuck here.
I forgot what killer we're playing.
He is stuck here, so we are going to be
Yeah.
forced to play around this gen that is almost done. And that's 4th generator popping already. We only have 2 hooks on the board. We're going to get a 3rd onto Spitz any time now. There's only so much you can do, but nice dodge from Spitz, but it's not going to be enough. And somebody's on the gen already. Oh my god, it's popped! And that's adrenaline on Pedro! Pallet save.
Goodness
Pallet save.
gracious.
No, that would have been unreal.
No.
That would have been crazy.
No.
Holy
Lily, there is so much happening in this game right now.
I can't.
From that basement play, the getting out of the basement.
Are they
for
all out
free,
already?
Having to reload.
They're all out
the
already.
getting out of the door with the body blocks because
What?
they're all out. There is
They're
no
all out
way
already.
for Sokka to be able to recover this. This is
It's 4 stages. No way! It is 4 stages only after that great start that Zaka had. Getting that 2-tap onto Spitz at the start. I mean, granted, it was a long chase until then, but it was still a good start. We interrupted those 2 gens, but just committing that chase onto Pedro for far too long. Pedro, amazing chase, ends up being able to turn this game into 4 stages only. Mario, I am so impressed.
That was incredible gameplay. That was definitely one of the highlights of tonight. That was... I could not believe what I was watching for half of that. And we're going to see exactly if it is that Invictus can show us an incredible showing like that on Killer right after a short break. Stay tuned.
right, welcome back, everybody. We are here on the second half of the Huntress set. We have Pedro killing for Invictus versus Zaka, Bolitar, V1, and Laser for Team Nokron. Following an amazing performance from Invictus survivors, getting only 4 stages to Nokron's killer. Very impressive performance. So we're gonna have to see if Pedro can do better than the good work that his survivor team put up, and with an amazing instant hit onto Laser, it's looking like Pedro is not here to mess around.
Yeah, I mean, that already early tag here coming in from Laser as well as the down on the pallet. So someone's probably definitely around here playing for a pallet save here. You kind of needed to do that, unfortunately. You were kind of dead regardless, and Zaka is the one here for this pallet save. That is probably going to be a tag onto Zaka as well. Good stuff here from Pedro, and that will mean that Zaka is stuck here. Could this be a snowball from Pedro missing the shot? There needs to pull up and hit this shot, and will happening as well.
2 downs already, Mario! 2 downs already. Oh my goodness. Someone is picking up Laser though.
Yeah, Laser does get picked up, but the amount of progress that is halted on the generator, the result of that is going to be terrible. Balatro. I've been playing that game too much. Bolitar is going to be taking the tag here, and then the unhook is coming through, and it's not going to quite be the unhook as Chucky is getting unhooked by Laser. If that shot landed true, Lily, I think that's just game.
That would have been a highlight reel. 4K5 right there. He just barely missed that shot. That was unreal. I really wish he hit that. It would have been so exciting. But this is such an explosive start already for Pedro. We have 1 hook on the board. Make it 2. Laser's down again, losing that 50. Hopefully no beamer here. And we are clear. That's going to be 2nd hook for Pedro already. With what an incredible pace here.
I mean, oh my goodness. If I'm being honest with you, Lily, this is looking really amazing for Pedro so far. Yes, we don't have a tunnel out. Yes, that's unfortunate. But at the same time, the amount of pressure that we have on the survivors here, 2 injuries, and we already see Zaka again.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better Huntress set for Pedro so far.
Dude, with a start this explosive and a win con so loose, you have to imagine that Pedro is just having the time of his life right now. These shots have just been so strong, but nice juke there from Zaka. Pedro does need to lock in a little bit, get some pressure back. Again, serves have recovered a little bit here. That's going to be 1st gen popping of the trial, but 2 hooks in. That's going to be a firecracker. I don't know who is here, but it's somebody that we need to get a tag on. But looks like V1 actually held some distance really well there, making it all the way to Shaq.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember the win condition is 5 stages. So with the start that we have right now, Pedro, I mean, the survivors need to recover first of all, but Pedro also needs to massively mess up here to actually make that possible, and it looks like Laser will just be going down here. Another gen does pop in the distance, and we are seeing as well V1 around here trying to play for the pallet save, but it's just not going to work out. Lily, I don't think we've seen a single pallet save in these grand finals so far.
No, we haven't actually, and we see Ward sneaking up, but we do have eyes, and Pedro was able to see him, and that's just a matter of time before Ward goes down with that held hatchet. It is just a confirmed down. We're going to be able to take this to another painters thanks to Agi here. And this whole time, mind you, Mario, we have a super secret special perk called No Way Out that we are chunking on if we happen to get to the end game here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine maybe the survivors are starting to suspect an endgame perk or some kind of perk that stacks with the fresh hooks, just because you have pain resonance, but also Pedro's not playing super into the tunnel. Oh my god!
Pedro, yes, Nodders. Oh my goodness, that shot. Pedro, his accuracy, this Huntress set has just been unreal, Mario. We are watching a highlight reel, I swear. This is unreal.
They've already taken the set because that was 4 stages, but they have 4 freshes.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Yeah, this is already the set win. this early at 3 gens. We've already won this. That means Invictus is going up 3-2. They just need to win one more set to win the grand finals, take home our grand prize, first place, and an amazing shot on board!
Oh my god!
Mario, I can't. This is unreal. He's hitting everything. He's missed one shot? This is unreal. That second stage on to Ward. The momentum, the accuracy.
Does he have some sort of like?
He's aimbotting for
he
sure.
Like a machine? It's just like the hatchets are turning into the survivors when they need to. This is incredible. If that would have hit, I might have lost my mind.
I would have. GG, they win the whole thing. Oh my god, Pedro is hitting almost everything this set. He might be the Huntress in real life, Mario. This is insane.
Oh,
the accuracy. Someone get this man in an FPS game. Like,
give him a buddy mask, put him in a skirt. This is Huntress right here.
Oh my god, the accuracy!
On to Laser.
That's
continuing
Laser
chase on the Baltimore, but we're not interested in continuing chase. We're just interested in hooking. Laser is not quite dead.
He got
Laser
slugged.
is going to be going on the second hook stage. The only not death hook survivor is V1 here.
This is just unreal. He's just holding them hostage in there.
And quite frankly, he can. Because, like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, I mean, Volt out, I guess. But, I mean, he has such control of this match. Very nearly catches Bolitar there. With a nice dodge from Bolitar to not go down there. That is the snowball denial that they need. They have lost, and I'm sure they are aware of this, but still playing for best. You want to keep that momentum as best as you can. But Pedro has a turret spot here, and Laser is sure to die on this hook. That's going to be 4th gen popping.
This is a masterclass of Huntress gameplay. Pedro has definitely been hitting the aim labs. Because there is no way that half of these shots have been connecting without being a CSGO player.
Yeah, exactly. This man is the sniper of all snipers. The accuracy is just unreal. Even that shot on Laser around Zaka on the unhook was just very, very precise. Could just clip the hitbox of Laser and not hit Zaka's BT. Pedro's just playing amazing here. And that's Laser dead on hook. 1 gen left. Let's go for some more trick shots, Pedro. Oh!
As well. Like,
It was so
Zaka
close.
dodging that.
Uh-oh. V1 might be stuck in there till he breaks the pallet. Oh! We almost timed it. Oh, little cracker.
Oh. Was that... Is there someone in the basement? Or...
I think V1 may have went in there. V1 might be in there.
Yeah,
oh, no, he came out. He came out.
No, he came out. He came out with the flashbang. So he timed the flashbang that it would make Pedro have to look away or something so that he could then get out of the basement.
Very smart, very smart. And yeah, V1's gone. I mean, they could still get an out here, maybe 2. Actually,
they can.
Maybe just 1. I forgot about the 4 stacks and no way out. And that's Bolitar dead. Nice patient hatchet hit from Pedro. We're now 2v1 here. I don't know if Zaka's gen is gonna pop, and it looks like it's going to.
It's gonna be very close. If Pedro goes there right now, maybe he can stop it. But I think
know.
V1 is coming in for the demo, so I think they pop it.
Yeah, 110 too. It's gonna be hard. He's gonna have to hit some hatchets here. And now we can't see the survivors because of that. Oh my god!
Oh my days!
Pedro! The perfectly timed shot. That was unreal. No rose root or anything, by the way. That was just unreal. This is gonna be 4K0 for Pedro. Oh my goodness. Okay, actually a really good play from Zaka there. Really well timed. Oh.
Well,
what was I saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about good play from Zaka.
You know, 50-50s and all that. It happens, you know. But yeah, amazing game from Pedro. That's gonna be 4K0. We're gonna get the Mori onto V1, and that's gonna be amazing performance from Pedro and Invictus in general on this set. 4 stages versus 4K0. Very impressive. And now we're going to be going over to the Chucky set, which is Invictus's final pick of the best of 7 before we get to the tiebreaker set. If Invictus takes this next set, they will win our grand finals. Overall, they will take the win. They will take the grand prize of the entire tournament. If not, we'll be going to Legion after Chucky. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrecker's Yard here. We are here playing some Chucky, some Tiffany, back on the Wrecker's Yard here. Now, this set could decide everything here. If Invictus takes this set, then they will take the grand final. However, if Nokron is able to win this set, we will be going to the tiebreaker. Just going to be going into hidey-ho mode to try to maybe find a survivor off guard here, but I don't think gonna find anything just yet here. Chucky, one of those sets that can be very, very fun to watch. We are gonna see a survivor here on the top side of the map. Chucky is not a killer I am super well knowledgeable on here, but a head-on coming
Knocked
through.
to the floor.
I was gonna say Chucky, not a set I'm super knowledgeable on here. Lily, do you have any comments on that?
So I have played Chucky exactly one time in comp, so I don't know too much about it, but that was an amazing hit from Pedro, showing a lot of talent on these dashes already with a nice curve onto that hit on Zaka. Definitely a more rare set is Chucky. I was very excited when these teams picked Chucky. I was worried we were going to see some boring, average, you know, Bubba or something for the end game, but we do see Chucky set, and I'm very excited. Nice chase so far from Zaka, able to dodge these dashes. Hideo almost back again, though, so we're going to be able to go for another slice and dice here really soon, but these pallets are very strong here, and I think we're going to not make the vault back over, actually. Really nice, quick confirm from Pedro here.
Yeah, very, very good stuff for Chucky. One of those killers that unfortunately did get good. I remember Chucky used to be very, very strong, nigh unplayable around certain loops and nigh unplayable in certain sets. Considered definitely a high A tier killer, but nowadays kind of considered more of a mid to high B tier killer. Still definitely has very, very. Thank you, Tiffany. Still has very, very strong capabilities around certain loops there, but is not a killer just because, you know, Scamper mode was reduced in terms of speed here. Ooh. But the tag coming in from Laser was reduced in speed here. Did reduce their strength a little bit. However, Pedro showing that does not mean that you cannot make this killer look very, very strong.
Yeah, Pedro getting some really nice confirm hits here so far. I mean, really only getting 3 hits so far, but all of them have looked pretty nice. Looked very good, and I guess Pedro did not hear that firecracker go down. That's going to be V1 with another nice use of that firecracker. Probably why they give it to him, knocking him right out of that slice and dice. And now Pedro isn't really chasing anybody at the moment. We've let Zaka go, but we do end up finding Laser again at this tile. We're going to hope to get another hit here. We are injured. And nice runaround from V1, or sorry, Laser here. And just making Pedro second guess when he's going to use the slice and dice. And nice hit tank coming in from V1 right at the critical moment there.
Anybody there?
Yeah, I mean, hit tanks like that are something that you only see top tier teams make, because I think definitely Laser would have been going down there had it not been for that hit tank, but I think we're going to be seeing Laser go down now, so Eruption going to be applied to this generator, and I do believe this is a Pain Resonance right by this hook, so bit of gen regression going on, and the generator still has not bombed.
That's going to be our second pain res of the match, second hook, and yeah, still 5 gens. So Pedro getting a little bit of momentum here. We probably have a lot of gens that are relatively high progress. I imagine there's probably 3 close to popping at least. We haven't been doing too much around the map, so there should be some uncontested generators. But getting 2 pain reses in before a gen pops is always nice. So we're going to have to see if Pedro can keep up this momentum. We don't really have a tunnel out at the moment. But we do find an injured V1 here as our first generator pops.
Yeah, injured V1 here at this bus. One of those times. Whoa, okay.
Wait, swap to Zaka.
And here comes Zaka here to take the tank. I think, yeah, you might swap to Zaka there, but you did lose your slice and dice there, very unfortunately.
Yeah,
so,
and I guess we did realize that V1 is in a dead zone, so we're going to be able to get a down onto V1 and another pain res, actually. It's going to be our third fresh, and the pain reses are just nicely tucked in this side of the map, but that gen is going to pop, thankfully, in time.
Yeah, I was going to say V1 running into a dead zone and also onto the side of the map that you were trying to protect, but unfortunately that generator will pop. So perhaps you don't want to play too much onto this side of the map anymore and want to instead protect this 12 generator, as we are seeing. I believe this is Zaka here over. No, yeah, this is Zaka here over on this side of the map with Iron Will, I believe, Lily. So really, really nice stuff. Trying to play around it with a third-person perspective coming in from Pedro. So really, really good use of the killer's powers there, being able to kind of win what we call Chuck spots.
Yes, I was hoping you would say Chuck spots. Love to see them coming into use. Very strong to have third-person on killer. We were able to see exactly what Zaka was doing there and just win that tile for basically nothing.
Yeah, Chuck spot's very, very strong here. Chucky was originally the only killer that could ever make use of them, but nowadays, you know, you have Dracula and Wolf form can make use of them, and now the Kurashu here can make use of them as well. So very, very nice here coming in from Pedro. As we are seeing Graduates coming on the bottom side of the map, the seawall here. Want to go and slice and dice and see if we can get a very early tag here, but not going to quite be able to make it. Trying to bait the pallet, and just going to do so very, very well. And it's going to get the tag as well. So great stuff from Pedro, baiting the vault to get that tag here, and this generator very, very close to popping, as we do see Volatar. Oh no, this is Laser on this side of the map here. Gonna kick this generator, trying to apply a rupture as quickly as we possibly can.
Oh,
Slice,
we
nice
missed!
through, but not gonna quite land
Still
true.
dead.
And it looks like we maybe thought it was gonna hit.
Yeah, it looked like Laser gave up and stopped moving there and ended up going down because of it. But that's going to be a second stage, yeah. That's going to be a second stage onto Laser. So now we have 2 survivors, Death Hook, and oh my goodness, max range down on Ward! Wow.
That was an incredible down from Pedro, and I cement a good relationship as well, unless Final comes onto Laser very, very soon, and Pedro is not able to go and stop it, but
Oh,
I'm actually interested in doing that.
Discord's lagging a bit here, Mario.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, is it better now? Nope. Hello?
Wait, am I good? Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
Discord was lagging a little bit there. I shot up to 5,000 ping for a second. So a bit of robotics here at the peak of this Chucky set. I think you're okay now?
Testing? Hello?
Yes,
We
I
good?
think we're good now. Yeah. Discord
Yeah?
been a little bit
Okay.
of a inconsistent ping thing as of late, but looks like we're okay now, and that's going to be another fast down onto Ward. We now have 3 survivors Death Hook. That's going to be our 3rd gen popping, but the only one that's not Death Hook is V1.
Yeah, I mean, you know, V1 is definitely going to be the ideal chase here for Nokron, just because we want to be able to prolong as long as possible. We do not want Pedro to find Laser. We do not want Pedro to find Zap, but them dying right now would cement a very good result for Pedro. And if we want to pop these last 2 generators, yeah, we need to reset and we need to play a little bit slower.
Yeah, good play from Nokron here to choose to reset. If they ended up letting Pedro just get these snowball pressures for free again with these injured survivors, like he was just able to find injured survivor, go back and forth this whole game so far. So definitely a good call from Nokron to slow it down a bit here. Still a lot of stages out right now, so maybe a little bit too late, but we definitely want to see them recover and get some stages out. You don't want to see Chucky 4King because he really shouldn't anymore. And that's going to be Zaka getting the pull, but we can just tunnel out Laser here. Or sorry, Ward. He doesn't have a pallet here, I don't think.
Onto Ward here. He does not have a pallet, but he does have this window, and I don't think you are allowed too many exhaustions here against the Chucky.
No, I think it's just 2.
Yeah, I think it's just 2, so it's not too many exhaustions. Chuck Squat's coming in to see exactly what Ward is doing. It was, in fact, trying to double back into the shack here, and it will mean that Ward is going to go down here at, you have to assume maybe 1 gen remaining, because that gen is looking close proc. However, I have seen more crazy things happen, and yeah, V1's going to be forced to leave this gen.
I think that other gen by the bus was almost done as well. We saw the eruption proc hit 2 survivors there. Yeah, they have a lot of gen progress. They should still be in a position to get outs here. Both these gens are very, very close. It kind of is now. It's just how many stages are we going to give up? And I can't believe that did not hit.
Ooh. That was incredible and necessary as well. You have to imagine someone going back onto that hill generator over on the top side of this gen going to be kicked as well. No injuries to speak of. So Pedro not looking to get a 4K here, but is looking to get pretty high stages, all things considered.
Yeah, we definitely want to get V1 here. So nice hit onto V1, winning that 50-50. And that's going to be 1 gen pop, but V1 was adrenaline. We very well could get 3 survivors out here. It's still very, very high stages, but V1 definitely could escape here, but this is not the place you want to chase if you need to get out in this trial. We are very far from the exit gates here. We know that V1 doesn't have Lithe, and we are just going to be able to zone him with that pallet break. But we need to make sure we can get the down.
V1.
Oh, he's trying to sneak away. We didn't see him. We didn't see him.
The ideal.
Oh, no, we did. We did.
Oh, wait.
You're
right. I almost lost V1 there.
Yeah.
And V1 is the ideal death here, considering he is worth more. So definitely a good death if we can find. However, I think he has enough distance that he can make this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to hit tank for this. They would have to mess up pretty bad for Pedro to be able to get around this. There's just so much clutter in the way that I don't know if he's going to be able to get this. Oh, wait. Where's V1?
Wait, V1 is around here somewhere.
He's at Shack. He's going for Hatch.
V1's playing for Hatch. He's playing for Hatch, yes. Okay, so...
But we're on Hatch side. Oh, this could be bad. They have to time this perfect. Oh my god, he's leaving. We get the down!
Oh, no!
Oh my god! The perfect timing!
That is incredible!
Wow, that was actually perfect.
That has turned this from
No
an 8-stage
way.
result into a 10-stage result, Lily. That is incredible.
Wow.
And that could be game devastating for Nokron.
Yeah, that was very, very crucial for Pedro to get that down. That difference in stages, going from 8 to 10 on a killer like Chucky, is absolutely crucial. It is much more doable to match 8 than it is to match 10. Oh my goodness. Nokron effectively has to 4K in order to win this. Invictus is setting themselves up so well to take this overall best of 7 here. Oh my goodness. What a result.
Amazing result indeed. And when we come back, we will see if Nokron is able to do exactly that, do what we think is improbable, and the 4K on the Chucky on Wrecker's Yard here to take this set and move on to tiebreaker. But we will see after a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what could very well be the final match of the Eddie's Campfire uh, Grand Finals here. We are having a Ward, aka Bolitar, on the Tiffany here. Spitz, Nightlight, Pedro, and Dan for Team Invictus. Ward needs to get at least 10 stages to keep into this game and 11 stages to take the set here. What was originally looking like an 8-stage game has turned into a 10-stage game, and Ward has everything to play for here, as we're already seeing the rotation of the survivors, a little bit of aggressiveness here. I mean, you can't afford to do that on a killer like Chucky. And we have already put Eruption down onto the Shack Generator. We are seeing Spitz here taking Chase over at the 7th side of the map, but it's choosing actually to drop Chase. We have seen someone else here that is going to be Nightlight. Is this going to be a tag? And that is going to be a tag onto Nightlight. A very good early tag here into the chase here for Ward here, dropping this crane tile and needs to immediately break it. And I think Nightlight is zoned.
Nightlight is zoned a little bit. Had to play a little bit of a 50-50 there, but we're going to choose to jump into a locker instead. Delay the down just a little bit, but only by a couple of seconds. Every second does count in this game, but very, very quick chase for Bolitar. Definitely the start that you need if you are going to hope. Basically, effectively has to 4K this game. 11 stages is hardly different from 12, so...
You can scream better than
Yeah, I mean, it's going to mean that... I mean, Invictus... This does not mean that Invictus is out of the woods necessarily, because Chucky is not a killer that is impossible to 4K on. You can absolutely get 4Ks. It'll depend on RNG. It'll depend on how well you play. It'll depend on how well the survivors play as well. So definitely still something that Ward can do. But we just need to make sure our gameplay is immaculate, as we are seeing someone on this corner tile here, dropping it immediately. So that is a resource out of the way later on in the match if we choose to chase out.
Yeah, just choosing to put Eruption down on some of these gens that are being progressed currently. We do see the pull come into Nightlight pretty quick. Looks like he was trying to go for Shack, but we do successfully zone him away from that tile. We're going to see the Scamper here. We're going to have to take a hit for him. That is Spitz here with the body block. Honestly, maybe didn't need to, but would have been too risky to go without that. And that's going to be our first generator popping, and Nightlight chasing around Shack. Got a little bit tricked up by the Chucky there, but is going to make it to something, I think. No, he doesn't. We're going to be dead on Shack. Nice chase from Bolitar. We did see Dan in the area earlier as well, so we know to check for this pallet save. And that's going to be FTP. I was just thinking that. Maybe they're going to FTP, and that's Dan with the FTP and the stun. Very well played from Invictus to keep Nightlight in this trial a little bit longer.
That is very impressive stuff here, playing into the FTP. Dan knew that Ward knew he was there, so a pallet save would not have really been possible. So a play like that was absolutely the next best thing, but unfortunately Nightlight will just be going down onto the bottom side of the map here, but dying in a good death spot.
Yeah, much better death spot than when he died on Shack. We have that agitation, but we're only able to carry two, I mean, pretty much a hook that we would have been able to hook on anyway. This gen, very high progress here. We put Eruption down on it, but that's going to be second gen popping in the meantime. One hook stage per one gen. That is not quick enough. If you're Bolitar, we need to kick up the pace a bit. But with Nightlight threatening to be dead soon and 2 injured survivors, we can get a snowball here if we're able to find some rotations, find some injured survivors. We do see Dan here, but we're taking our distance well, and I don't think Bolitar is going to be able to commit to that. We're going to go right back to the unhook. We know there can't be an FTP, so we can play around this hook for a little bit, and that is the pull coming through right now. Nightlight needs to last here. But all we have is
Now,
the TL wall.
I was going to say, here's the thing about lasting. You can block this pallet and force Dan into the TNL, and that's exactly what Bolitar is doing here, and it's going to get it down very quickly as well.
Wow.
That is exactly what Ward needed to keep in this game. 4K is now possible, Lily.
Yeah, 4K is definitely possible. We still have 2 injured survivors. Okay, never mind. Spitz just got healed. But this gen still has not popped, and Dan's gen has also not popped. We see Dan rotating into this gen right now. I don't think he saw Ward, but these chases on Nightlight were just so quick. They were almost instant every single time. That's the firecracker coming down on Dan. Dan cannot die here, but we have not a lot of distance here. We have to make a juke, and we do make it back to the pallet in time, and that's going to be third gen popping 2 left, but now we're stuck in the 3v1 versus Chucky. This is very sketchy. This really could go either way, Mario. I am very tense right now.
Yeah, I mean, I said 4K was possible, but that's possible. I mean, it's still
Oh!
very likely that even with this pressure, that Invictus is gonna pop another gen here, and oh my
Look at this
goodness,
gen
one
split.
generator remaining.
Look at this gen split,
Yeah,
Mario.
this is looking
3
even
and
more
10.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking more and more difficult here for Bolitar. Bolitar gonna have to get this down and needs it like right now. And as I speak, he does actually get it. So that will be a pickup and a pain resonance coming through as well. You have to hope, maybe. We're choosing to carry the basement.
No way we're going for basement here. I feel like we need pressure, but maybe he's pretty certain that there's not a lot of gen progress, which seems like he's right. There is not a lot of gen progress.
Here.
Yeah, we can save that pain res, but we really need a snowball going here in this 3v1. This gen split is just so far. Chucky does have a little bit of movement, but it costs his attack power. And I guess I should say she, because we've both been playing Tiffany here. But Chucky 110, very slow to traverse the map unless we burn our chase power. And that's going to be the unhook on Dan already. Looks like Pedro was waiting by patiently to see when Ward was going for that kick. This is going to be Dan safely out of basement. Are we going to choose a tunnel? I think we are. We're going to try to make this a 2v1 as quick as we can, but if Dan has a good chase here, we might be able to pop that last gen in time for this. Oh!
Oh!
He's still dead.
He's still dead.
But
no, yeah, I was gonna say it is very good. This tunnel is honestly not the worst thing in the world because we do still have that pain.
yeah.
And we can go back to 3 and try to pressure it, but keep in mind they're 2 splitting now. So as Ward is going to be going to 3 here, it will mean that Pedro is going to be having to split off for that save.
Oh, and we see him going in for it, actually. Looks like Bolitar baited a little bit. We are splitting gens across the map, but with people having to rotate to this pool, we can't really let it get to a 2v1. We do still need at least 2 stages out the door. So we would like to have 3 survivors alive going into this, but looks like some nice movement from Ward here. Pedro with a nice dodge, delaying the hit just a little bit longer. Maybe enough time for Spitz to rotate in and get that pull, or crank this gen for a little bit longer. It looks like he's been cranking instead, and Ward guesses correctly. He is right here, and Spitz gonna be zoned to this edge map, but Pedro's gonna have enough time to get this unhooked. But now we're in a little bit of a dangerous situation. Spitz gonna take some distance here from Bolitar, but we're gonna have to dodge this slice and dice. Nice play from Spitz.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna get hit anyway, though.
Yeah, we are going to get tagged anyway here. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, the unfortunate situation that Ward is in is that he cannot afford another gen popping. Another gen popping almost cements the victory for Invictus!
Wow, nice dash.
And a very good tag around the pallet to actually get the down onto Spitz here. Now, is Dan and Pedro resetting? Because if they're not...
They are, they are.
They are? Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say.
Honestly, very good idea. Definitely need a reset. We can't really be letting Ward go back and forth and getting these fast downs, so we do need healthy survivors here. And Dan has to play very, very careful now. We have a hook central in the map on Spitz in basement. Dan can't really be the one going for this, but we also can't get caught off guard on a gen either. So this is going to be a really difficult position. Bolitar is set up to 4K, but again, these survivors, they can also still get outs here. They just have to keep playing well, playing perfect, get some longer chases going in. But with the resources dwindling, it's getting a little bit difficult to get any meaningful chases or progress here.
Yeah, I mean, I think your best strategy here... Oh, this gen is not far off, really. I mean, we did see Pedro working it just now. It has to re-rotate, unfortunately, and Dan will be going for the save as we see in the basement. But as soon as that's happening, Pedro's going to be going back to that gen to try to apply some more pressure to it. Now, you need it down very, very quickly if you want to apply this eruption.
He's going to go back?
Spitz is going to be walking in. He's going to go back over to this generator to try to stop it. The comm was made, Pedro rotating away, but I don't think Pedro really has anything here to work with.
We have one pallet. I
But
mean,
he has this.
if we go and immediately double that gen across the map, it just might be enough time to be able to get this. But this tag's going to come in really quick. But no, nice tuck in the corner from Pedro. The totem not blocking his spot, and Ward is forced to break, and we are doubling that gen across the map. I feel like this gen is going to inevitably pop. Who has adrenaline? It is Pedro. This is the perfect setup for Invictus. If Pedro can last until his adrenaline goes and we miss again, I think this is it, Mario.
Lily, Lily not getting that tag in that top corner, not getting this tag right here, is going to probably mean that they pop that generator over at 3. They finally get the tag, but here's the thing. As you said, Pedro is adrenaline. That generator at 3 is going to be popping. Pedro's going to be getting adrenaline, and he's not going to get the tag as a result of it as well. I think we can safely say that Invictus is going to be taking the grand finals.
I think so. Pedro putting this team on his back absolutely today. Amazing chases on Survivor, amazing performances on Killer all night. Nightlight with his good Killer performances as well. But Pedro doing so much in this trial to get the win for his team, and we're gonna finally get the hit. I can't believe there was enough distance, but you see we're holding W to this gate. You can see the lights, and I think that's gonna be 3 survivors out, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be Invictus taking the grand finals over Nokron. They're going to be the winners of this season of EC. That's going to be all 3 out, Mario.
What an amazing down-to-the-wire game. I want to point out that had Bolitar been able to get Pedro at that last second there, I think that was Pedro that was taking chase there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Had Bolitar managed to get Pedro, that would have been it. I mean, like, 8 stages was the original result until V1 went down. So had that not have happened and Pedro died there, Nokron actually would have taken the set.
Yeah, they actually would have. That was just so unreal, so close. And I'm just so amazed by everything I've seen tonight. Everybody has just played so phenomenally all night. And wow, I don't know. This was just like the perfect grand finals that we could have asked for. Every single team has just been playing so well tonight, and every game was so down to the wire. Nothing was really a washout, Mario. Everything was so close tonight. This was just such an amazing watch.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for co-casting with me, Lily. It's been
course.
an absolute pleasure. This grand finals was absolutely incredible. That Huntress set was incredible. This Chucky set was down to the wire. 1 kill mattered. And the Ghoul set, even the replay was so much fun to watch and cast. So I'm very, very happy to have gone through this with you.
Yeah, and that's going to be it for EC this season. So thank you, everybody, for coming along for the ride. Thank you to our wonderful staff all this season. I'm not going to name people specifically because I will forget somebody and then feel bad. But thank you, Xena, our lovely commissioner, for putting on this tournament and making it just such a wonderful time. Getting able to see all of these wonderful, just top tier teams perform out of their minds. And mind you, it is very late in Europe right now, and these teams still showed up to play this best of 7 grand finals for us today. So, you know, thank you for every team that participated, every staff member, every viewer that made EC possible. It's been a great season of Mario.
Yes, it has been. Thank you very much again for everyone for watching, and that is going to be it for EC. We do have the Halloween event coming up soon.
Yes.
We want to mention that as well. That is going to be an amazing time as well, so stay tuned for more content. EC is not yet done. We'll see you all for that as well. But thank you very much so much for watching, and we'll see you all later on.
Yes,
Bye.
and just a quick reminder for the Halloween event, signups are still open. If you are interested on a mid-tier or lower team, make sure you sign up by tomorrow. Signups are likely closing tomorrow. So make sure you sign up by then if you want a chance to play in our Halloween event. You can join the Discord to see more information about it. Do !Discord and stay along for the ride with us here at EC. Thank you all for watching and have a great rest of your nights. Say goodbye, Mario.
Oh, sorry. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.